Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had a lot of questions. How do we record an episode? How do we get our show into the apps that people like to listen to, like Spotify and Apple Podcasts? How do we make money from our podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. So, if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Everything fucking sucks, but not champagne.
The Hit Team Productions. MCF Beats.
You've changed your intro on me, and it throws me.
I know. Everyone was so used to that.
Yes.
I kind of like that too. I kind of miss that. It was like the hype man came through the room
You
or
changed
something.
it. You changed it up on me, and it throws me every time you do the A.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
All right. It's okay. It's okay. I'm
we,
back.
We may change it up again, so who knows?
Cool.
Right? Yo, what's up, peoples?
Hello.
Here with another episode. We got some special guests, and they special. They real special.
Every time he says that, it feels like an insult.
The cheddar bus.
So I didn't actually explain why they call those the cheddar bus. So back when I grew up, they came in these like short yellow buses, and that was the bus that would pick up the kids who had disabilities or learning disabilities or special needs. But it looked like the welfare cheese, like that brick of cheddar. So they'd call them the cheddar buses.
The cheddar bus.
So I just want to let you know, for a year, I rode a cheddar bus.
What? Tell us
I'm
about
not saying
it.
I have special needs.
Well, you might have a learning disability. This country treats learning disabilities like there's something wrong with you.
They do.
I have a disability, but it's not about learning.
I'm going to lay that right there.
Okay, yeah. Damn.
So the voices in the room are my beautiful, dear, sweet, lovely, giant friend who I want to bite her. I love her so much. Affectionately known as Hortina. It's my girl, Christina.
Love you, Lori.
Thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you for
I know
inviting
you're a little
me.
nervous.
I am very nervous, but I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, good. Now let AK introduce the infamous, because we've talked about this person over here a few times.
Infamous.
The infamous.
It's almost like he needs his own intro.
He does.
You know what I mean?
He does. We should have
I
made
might
one
drop a
special
beat
for
or
him.
something on it for him. So the voice you heard about the learning disability
The
right here.
Smooth stylings.
Yeah. This is my brother from another mother. If you know me, you know Quantrell. There's no secret. Everybody in the family knows him and treats him as family. And that's because that's my best friend. This guy's been around from day one. And
So about 132 years?
Yeah, about 132 years.
Okay.
Actually, how we met was I got in a fight. And, true story. Got in a fight in high school. And I whooped this dude up. I put it on him.
We can't say his name?
Can't say his name.
Cannot say his name.
Okay, never mind.
All right. And
But hey, how are ya?
what ends up happening?
You can't hit the mic. Shit,
I know.
Damn it.
dang
We're
it.
pull brandy.
And so
It's hot as fuck.
yeah.
It's not necessarily Alton's house. It's 107 degrees outside.
Yeah. It's
My sweat has
Anyways,
sweat.
what ends up happening is this fool misses the bus.
I missed the bus.
And I got a call.
Oh, because you were busy fighting?
Because he was
Yes.
busy whipping his fool's tail.
Yeah.
Who thought he knew karate.
Yeah. It was one
The
of
guy
those.
thought he
Oh,
knew
yeah.
karate.
He showed him he didn't know karate.
He was gonna try to itch
I'm gonna
me,
show you. I'm gonna show you what you
ass.
do know. You know how to get your tail whipped. That's how you know how to do.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
So that's what happened.
Yeah, and so Quantrell, I went out to the front, bus was gone. Quantrell pulls around. He's like, "Hey, man, you need a ride home?" And I was like, looking around, I'm going, "Yeah."
Why, yes, I
I do. So he gave me a ride home, and then ever since then, we became best of friends. And so that was
Stalking him.
Okay.
junior
All right.
year in high school.
Who's this little night-skinned little booty over here?
With that Prince hair.
Coming up
with
here
those
on my
flowing
school
locks.
grounds. I don't know him with his flowing locks. I'm gonna give me some of that.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Forever
just
then
took
we've
a
been
quick laugh.
friends.
Oh, why you gonna paint it like that though?
Jesus Christ.
Like you looking at my booty or
We've
something.
been friends.
This is really not the best time to segue into today's topic.
Anyways, this is my homie Quantrell.
Welcome, Q. Hi.
What up?
So before we get started, a few things. The last episode that we did was on family. Once again, it's so interesting how the more serious the conversation is, the more private the messages are regarding how people feel about it.
Yeah, I know.
This one had a very quick spike in streams. People listened quickly to this one. So thank you for that. Also, the episode that we did on being LBGTQ and on the spectrum has gotten a ton of streams.
Yes.
So clearly a topic that, while maybe you didn't necessarily agree with or understand, you definitely listened. And also just kudos to everybody who kept the conversation positive. I basically threatened people with physical violence on my post, and I told you I'd fuck your ass up if you talk sideways to them. Like, you can come for me, you can say whatever you want to me. I put myself out there, but the people who are kind enough to come join us and share their stories, you will not come for them, because I will find your ass. So thank you for everybody who's listened. Thank you for everyone who kept it positive. Thank you to those of you who shared. But really, again, like I said last episode, thank you to those of you who reached out and had a private conversation with me about feeling seen, feeling heard, feeling like you were included. We greatly appreciate that. So thank you. The greatest way that you can help us if you enjoy our podcast is to share it. That was hella stalker.
Share it, people.
Share it.
Share it.
Post it on your socials. Tell a friend about it. Don't listen to it with children around, because that makes you not a good person.
Yeah, you're awfully bad if you do that.
We will judge you. But we're going to segue into what we're talking about today. And it's another episode of Alton has no idea where I'm going with this other than the topic.
Oh man.
So
Y'all ready?
I will make a statement before we start. I'm sure that by now, if you're listening to this, you have read the title. And so you already know. We're going to talk about masturbation today. And masturbation is one of those fucking topics that makes everybody giggle and uncomfortable a little bit. And it's kind of one of those topics you don't really have, or you're not usually totally honest about, because it's uncomfortable. And we've been raised with all kinds of ridiculous concepts about self-loving. I mean, I remember as a kid hearing that if boys masturbated, they would get hairy palms. Does anyone else remember this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
I shave my palm every day. That story is true.
I also remember hearing that if you masturbated, you'd go blind. Like, these are the things that we were told
blind in
as
my left
children.
eye.
I was gonna say I wear glasses.
I got a glass right eye and I'm blind in my left eye.
So you see what I'm saying? How quickly this conversation
I
get
use
really
Windex to
silly.
clean.
Okay.
But in the silliness and the discomfort, these two fools are over here cracking the fuck up.
This is gonna be a good one.
I want you to understand something. We don't talk about things to make fun of them. We talk about them to normalize them. And whether you like to admit it or not, or this doesn't apply to you, because I have found out recently some people have not ever masturbated, which is fucking shocking to me. Do you believe that? Quantrell, you believe that there are people who've never masturbated?
I do believe that. And I've had conversations or conversed. Sorry, no, I haven't had conversations. I've conversed with folks who said they have not or have never indulged in touching themselves.
It's really surprising to me to hear that. But so we'll try. We will try our best, because we're inevitably these two over here. I should also mention, it's important to note that if you don't know Alton and Quantrell, these two have their own boy language, and they start to speak it and giggle and speak in tongues, and the rest of us are excluded. So just get ready. There's going to be some sidebarring, and you're going to hear them sniggling and giggling like the freaking 17-year-olds they were when they met.
I will
and
explain.
That's okay.
How's that? If something goes down, I'll break it down. How's
Totally
that?
fine.
We'll Ebonics it for you.
But what better way to talk about something that's awkward and uncomfortable and really kind of on the more salacious side than some of the people you're most comfortable with, some of your best friends.
That's what I was getting ready to say. We're around people who are very comfortable. We hang, we talk, we BS, all that good stuff. So this is like the perfect scenario.
I specifically requested the person that I requested. Alton specifically invited the person that he invited because of the fact that both of them are very comfortable with their own sexuality. They're comfortable discussing it. I've got quite a few friends who they're on the don't talk about sex. Like the way that I don't talk about my personal life, I've got friends who don't talk about sex. I will happily discuss sex. You don't necessarily know that it's about my sex life, if that makes sense. But both Quantrell and Christina are very open about their sexuality. And in addition to being our friends, so goofy, silly, smart-assy, can also have a serious discussion about something that, is kind of awkward. So I'm just going to start the round table like this. Very simple.
And it really is a round table.
It really is a round table.
Y'all just can't see it.
Yeah,
and it's a
legitimately
tiny ass round table.
And in addition
like
to
a
that,
thimble.
it's hot as fuck today.
I turned it
No,
down.
it's not. It's not your house. It's just that it's
I
so hot
understand.
outside. So we're like sitting next to each other in close proximity, like sweating.
Yeah, but we're here.
So kind of hot,
Lubrication.
Okay, there it goes.
Yeah. Left.
So I'll ask the question. When was the first time that you either heard about masturbation or became aware of it? Not necessarily the first time you indulged in it. Or was the first time that you became aware of it the first time you indulged in it? Anybody want to go?
I'll take this question, Gina.
Go for it. For 500. Here we go.
First time I think I touched myself was, I think I was 13. And I didn't quite know what I was doing, but when I started,
You figured
I
it
was
out
like,
pretty quick.
No, I didn't figure it out quick. It took me a
But
minute.
it felt good.
It felt good.
Yes.
And I kept going. I was like, you know what? Yesterday, that felt pretty good. I want to do that again.
I shall extend that pleasure.
So I did it again. And I was like getting into it. And when I was getting into it, my first experience was humping a pillow.
Oh, you humped for your first
I
experience.
humped for my first experience.
Interesting.
Because
That's interesting.
How else was I supposed to do it? I didn't know.
Yeah.
However, I did see pornos before that.
You saw pornos before 13.
Oh, yeah. Before
Interesting.
13.
And there's a portion of the questions I'm going to ask that specifically relegates to pornography, because I think pornography introduces a lot of people to
Well, it wasn't
masturbation.
necessarily porno. It was naked women on HBO.
When HBO would go in that late night hour.
Or cable late night play, before the television
Skinamax.
goes. Before the television goes there, I saw that. So
Right.
it wasn't necessarily, I'm not blaming the porn game for diluting my image or anything like that. I do that myself.
Right.
I first saw that, and then, but anyways, my experience was humping a pillow. It felt good the first time. Want to explore it again. I felt it the second time. The third time was when it was like, oh my gosh.
Okay.
Hold on,
okay.
wait.
It finished. Did you finish?
Oh, I finished, but nothing came out. It was like,
Wait, what are you, like the crypt?
if you have a cannon and powder comes out.
Yeah, that's my question.
When a man for the first time, nothing comes out. The gun isn't loaded.
Really?
Yeah, it's a blank load, just a
AK,
test
you too?
fire.
I couldn't tell you.
Really?
I'm sitting here listening to him, and I'm like just amazed that he can remember it.
Oh, I have very
I
specific
am-
memory about my first time.
I'm like, Bubbles is in the house.
Did she throw up? She okay up there?
That's kind
Did
of
she
what it
just give
sounded
birth?
like.
What
No,
just
then-
came out of your girl?
She got a football in her mouth right now. But
Okay, so
I
you don't
honestly
remember.
I can't remember when that was. I mean honestly I can picture doing it, like back when I was under 15. Okay. I mean I'm trying to think of like
A time
dates
frame?
where I was at kind of deal. I remember being at our old house in
Don't put that much information out there. Your mama do be listening.
Yeah.
You might have to block her from this one.
Anyways, everybody does it, or everybody's done
That's
it. So
right.
hey, that's
Well,
why we're talking
we think
about
so.
it somewhat like that. But I can't I can't pinpoint it and say, oh, the first time was this. I honestly don't remember.
That's so crazy because I know exactly my first time.
I do
yeah,
too.
Yeah. It's interesting how
Exactly.
it breaks down for people. Some people it's like a distant thing. You kind of have an idea of maybe a time frame or a location, but you don't know the exact. And then some people know I know exactly. Hortina?
I want to say it was probably around 14, 15. I don't remember the exact time
Okay.
either, but it was around 14, 15 before I actually had sex.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And did you come about it by accident? Like, did you find out by accident, or what was it?
It had to
intentional?
do, like, a lot of my friends were already sexually active, so it was kind of like, I was just curious.
Wait, at 14, your friends were sexually active?
Some of them, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
14, 15, I think that's when a lot of people started having serious boyfriends and messing around. And, you're just curious, but you don't want to have a boyfriend yet. You don't want to go to that extreme, but you're
Right.
interested in what
Everyone's doing.
What's going on,
Right.
yeah. So
yeah, because all of a sudden your friends get real busy.
exactly.
When
And
everyone
I'm
starts
just sitting
having
there,
sex, like your squad all of a sudden just ain't around no more.
Disappear.
Nah,
Crickets.
they're in the bedroom.
Yeah. So before I share mine, I ask you all, did your parents talk to you about masturbation?
Absolutely not.
No.
I would like to say yes.
Okay.
Let me guess, your mom.
Yes. My mom
Here's that
holds
backstory.
no bars, and she will talk to you about anything, anytime,
Yes.
anywhere.
I'm
Doesn't
that
matter
mother, too.
what it is.
She
And
will.
She is straight up looking you in the eye.
Yes.
Why are you shy? I didn't raise you to be like that.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. Are you
talked-
having sex? Those girls out there want you. Quantrell, they want you. They want that big, strong black dick. This is my mom talking to me. Like, what? They want that. They want that. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. Well, Quantrell, I didn't raise you to be like this. Mom, calm down.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I talked to my daughters
Yeah.
about masturbation. Yeah. I did. And I think it's important to have that conversation with your daughters. And here's the reason. And I think this is sort of what the point of masturbation is. If you don't know what pleases your body, if you don't know what things feel good to you, how are you in the confines of a healthy sexual relationship going to relay that to your partner? People come in with their own preconceived notions about what works, right? If you're a girl, you think the minute they put a penis in you, like stars are exploding. If you look at TV, think about when you see couples and having sex on
yeah.
TV.
Oh,
The
yeah.
minute he puts that first stroke in, the women's like, oh my God. And you're like,
Coming so hard.
What do you mean you're not?
that is not my experience.
No.
Right? Additionally,
Mind blown.
some women require an extensive amount of foreplay, which is where I think masturbation makes a big difference for women in particular. Some women, you got to warm up the engine for a time. You
Absolutely.
can't just pop it in. Some women are just like, yo, let's do the do.
You
Kind of
don't
like
go
a Honda.
You don't go down a water
Okay.
slide dry.
Yeah.
Or a crank start engine.
You
Sometimes
can't.
you just got to wind it.
You know, you can't
I
just
hate them
you
right
can't start a Honda and just drive it. Transmission be shifting
You
all
can't
hard.
start the
and shit.
lawnmower without choking it.
Yeah.
Speaking of choking,
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So,
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to throw in a comment
Okay.
on what he said.
Okay.
Mentioning his mom.
okay.
100%. His mom is so straight up. She has hit me with some questions that I looked at her like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, but she has been probably the most consistent person I have ever known. She puts her hand out there from the get-go. Back when I was 15 years old, she is the same exact person to this day.
I love that.
Which is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
I just want
I
to throw
love
that
that.
in there. Yeah.
Do you feel like your mother talking to you openly and honestly about masturbation and also sex, do you feel like it made you have a more healthy perspective and outlook on sex?
it allows me to be who I am, and allows me to go forward to be even more so in that area. I masturbate proudly, and I don't care if you know it. I mean, if I could have sex, if a woman wants to have sex with me, that's
Great,
have sex.
right.
But after we're done having sex, and you leave, I'm probably gonna go ahead and remember the experience by touching myself and masturbating.
I don't
Or
think there's
maybe
anything
down
wrong
the
with
road.
that.
Maybe down the
You
road.
might use
I'll
it for the
remember
spank
that.
bank?
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
down the road, that's
Yeah.
in my Rolodex, and I'm like, Psh, I remember that.
That
time.
was good. That was hot.
That was
Yeah,
hot. I
yeah.
was like, and I remember some sections of it. Like, oh, wait, girl, she's coming right now. She's coming again. She's coming again.
I appreciate that you can be that straightforward, because I know so many men who, like, when you try to have the conversation with them, they're like, nah, don't do that shit. I cannot tell you how many men have told me they never, like,
They're liars.
Here, I'll give you an example because I need to circle back around to myself about the first time. But I'll give you an example. my children's father. I remember trying to have an open dialogue. You got to understand, we were both very young when we dated for those however many years. But I remember trying to have that conversation with him about masturbation. He was like, I would fucking never. That's some gay shit. Because, back in the days, that, macho shit. That's some gay shit. I don't need to fuck myself. I got other people I fuck, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he was actually being honest. There was plenty of other people he was fucking.
Wow.
But when I say to you that I was very young in our relationship, I did not understand in the beginning when I went to do laundry why his socks were always stiff and crunchy.
I have never fucked a sock. Let me tell you.
I'm gonna tell you, I haven't.
I think that's the
effed a
drop
sock,
location.
But I've in a sock,
Wow, okay.
all up in a sock. And I'm gonna tell you, when I first started discovering humping pillows like a rabbit, no pillow was safe in my household. Nutted on all the pillows.
It's like,
Every pillow.
Mama got that
You
satin
just
couch
look,
in the
how
room
are
that no one's
snails
allowed to go
How are
into.
snails getting in the house?
Hey,
I can't with you.
he hit
Either
the
snails or slugs. I'm not understanding what's going on here, but they're everywhere. Look at these silver tracks. What are these?
He hit the toss pillows on the couch.
All of them. You think I'm playing?
If you was a guest
Think
in
I'm
their
playing.
house
Go ahead
right
and
now,
sit
you're
on
like,
The feather down
They
pillows.
weren't Velcro to the couch. They were just stuck. They were stuck to the couch.
Memory foam pillows.
listen to me. I had no idea. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude's socks? They're always like, this is some unusual, extra salty sweat. And so, and because I'm the kind of person I am, I literally was like to his mom one day, I was like, the fuck's wrong with your son's sweaty ass feet? And she was like, what? I'm all, be washing that fool socks and they crunchy as hell. Does he have like some sort of an excessive sweat problem? Because he never stinks. And she's like eyes, like, and her husband's like, let's have a little talk, you and me, real quick. And I'm like, eh. And so he had to explain to me the ejaculation sock. I didn't know. No one talked to me about masturbation.
No one told me about the ejaculation sock. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, that's a thing. It's a thing. I guess everybody has their place where they drop it, but I've actually heard, especially I've got friends with teenage boys, the ejaculation sock is a thing.
Do you know anything will work? You don't have to have an ejaculation shock. It can be a pillowcase. It could
Yeah,
be a
we know about
blanket.
you and pillows.
It could be a towel.
AK,
It could be a shirt.
I'm gonna need you to get rid of those and put them up.
jeans,
The two on the
underwear,
couch. I'm worried
a
about him.
T-shirt,
The
a
pillows,
blanket, a
jeez.
sweater.
Okay, we got the picture.
I'm just saying.
All right.
So I think I was between 7 and 8 the first time. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know, but I knew that there was a very pleasurable reaction, a finale, if you will. And I was like, what is this thing that I just did? And because I was always the way that I am now, like I was always the kid who I went to my mom, I was like, Mom, something just happened. And she's like, what? And so I'm like kind of describing like the feeling that I had. And she's like, where'd you have that feeling? And so I'm like pointing to it. She's like, you will never do that again. That is bad. And I was like, so my first interaction with masturbating was met with total shame. Like I was so like kind of proud to tell her because I found this thing that felt amazing. And then she's like, you're a horrible piece of shit little girl who should never do like there was so much shame attached to the horrible thing I had just told her I did. And frankly speaking, I understand as a mom, particularly as a mom of girls, a single mom of girls, that if my daughter had said that to me at that age, I would have been shocked. But it wouldn't have been to shame them. It would have been an opportunity to have a conversation with them about like, well, this is your body, and parts of your body are receivers of pleasure. You know, whether you give that pleasure to yourself or someone else does. Like, it would have been such a great. It could have even been a very brief conversation because I think a 7, 8-year-old is too young to have a full conversation about sex with. But you could still approach it with positivity and not shaming. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Lori, so 2 questions.
Sure.
So at 7 and 8?
Yeah, it
So
was
at
it was
7, 8, so-
single digits.
So were you feeling my first sexual experience was in the single digits as well.
You mean having actual sex with a
Actual
partner?
sex without masturbating. I didn't discover
Wow.
masturbating till later. I discovered sex first.
Okay.
However, did you feel actual pleasure from that experience, or was it an actual what you didn't know? Well, maybe you didn't know until later as an orgasmic experience.
Correct. I did not know until later it was an orgasm.
Oh, really?
I didn't. I just knew that.
No,
like,
I didn't. at that age, I'm
No.
I'm surprised.
I
That,
didn't.
that
I
you were
was
able to
doing the pee-pee
experience
dance. That was actually what happened. I had to use the bathroom. There was a person in the bathroom, and I had my legs crossed, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck just happened here?" It was amazing, but kind of terrifying.
Right.
But so then I was kind of proud of myself because I
Yeah,
didn't pee
'cause
on
it felt
myself,
really
right?
good, yeah.
And it felt amazing.
Right.
And so like run and tell my mom, and she's
And
like,
she shamed you.
She totally. Oh my god, I was the worst person in the
So
world.
how did that make you feel moving forward?
I did not do it for a very, 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 very long time.
Because you felt it was bad.
Well, I was told it was terrible.
Right.
I was told I was a horrible person for what I had just done. Like only bad girls do that shit. And then later on, I had the benefit of having a cousin A and some god sisters who were a little older than me. I would say like 6 or 7 years older than me, and they were really, really frank about things. They would very casually, openly discuss. I learned in retrospect they were wild childs. You know what I'm saying? They were all out there doing all kinds of shit. But they had very casual, frank conversations with me about things, and took a little bit of that shame away from my own experience. And they were like, there's other ways to do it. And I was like, no, like I'm good because I know it's bad. And it was like, it's only bad if you get caught. And that stood with me. So that goes into the next question. Has anyone ever been caught masturbating?
Yep.
I have not.
You have not.
No, I have not.
Oh, you haven't lived.
Almost. Almost, but no, I have not.
Okay. No. Alton, sometimes I feel like your childhood was like gloriously
Closed off in an Adidas box.
No. Do you remember that movie
Penny loafer
Pleasantville?
box.
Do you remember the movie
Yes,
Pleasantville?
yes.
Every now and again I feel like Alton had like a super Pleasantville life.
No, you didn't.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that movie is?
No.
It's this movie about like 50s kids who, because of what was proper and what was right for teens in that time, they would go to the place to have the milkshakes and they would like hold hands and they would go together, but no one ever did anything. And then this character comes from the future and comes into their time, and she infuses their life with color. And so the whole movie is black and white until she arrives, and then little things start to turn into color. And so, but these kids, they weren't like innocent kids. It was just not an experience that they were open to, or they had not had other people.
When I came into your life, color came
he
into your
just
life.
made himself your Pleasantville.
I guess. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I'm
No.
just saying.
We'll have to watch that movie, and it'll make more sense what I'm saying. It's not an insult. It's more along the lines of like, I don't think you were sheltered by any means. None of these kids were sheltered. It was just not experiences that they had. And then all of a sudden, someone comes in their life and kind of starts to expose them to the color. You had a pretty good childhood, right?
Oh, I had a great childhood.
And both your parents were in the home, right?
Yes.
I know that with Q, both his parents were in the home too. I don't know about your experience.
They were, but not happily.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's an interesting dynamic, I think, to see where people were in fairly functional, because not every marriage is functional, even if it appears it, 2-parent homes versus not. I think it's an interesting thing to observe. I don't think by any means you were sheltered. I just think that there were certain things that just weren't natural occurrences in your life that maybe didn't happen because things were relatively healthy.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I had a great childhood.
Yeah.
Totally. I honestly thought about it like a week or so ago. I was thinking about my childhood, and I was saying to myself, I'm like, damn, you know what? I grew up and I was a pretty happy kid.
Yeah.
I kind of got to do a lot of different things, and I was appreciative of my mom. My mom basically raised me, so anyways, we're getting off the whole subject of masturbation, and this will be a whole nother.
That was you, homie.
Yeah, this will be a whole nother topic.
I think he wanted his street cred, and nobody was taking it.
Nah, it's all good.
So you got busted masturbating.
I wouldn't say that
You got caught, if you will.
They saw me like actually in the act, but they knew I was doing things. I got caught several times by my mom, several times by my
Meanwhile,
best
your mom
friend.
was like, "Carry on, I'll come back."
But
when
my
you're done."
mom wasn't tripping. My mom was like, okay. And carry on. Yeah,
Yeah,
carry on.
yeah,
Like, okay,
yeah.
I know what you're doing. All right, but clean up. I mean, I didn't clean up, but I mean, just
Did you
clean
have
up.
the sock?
No, I don't have a sock.
know,
I told you
the
nothing
pillow.
was safe.
I know.
There's nothing. It doesn't
Teasing,
matter. A
Jesus.
kite, a cheese grater. I don't care. I'll do it on anything. All you're doing is it's ejaculating,
Can't
right?
be comfortable.
Well,
Man.
you don't have to rub it on you.
So,
Anyhow.
everyone at this table has children.
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody care to admit if they know their did any of you discuss it with your children?
No.
No, did
No.
not discuss masturbation. Discuss sex.
Right. But didn't talk masturbation.
I
Interesting.
think that was one of those things that you just know happens when they be up in the bathroom for, 95 minutes.
The showers are all of a sudden 3 hours long, and you like,
man.
I had a magazine catalog here, and I can't find it. I was going to order them shorts.
I
but
think
it's
until
gone.
the day I die, my kids will be virgins.
Okay.
They would just not admit that they were having sex to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
gotcha.
would you admit to yourself?
If I was my dad, no.
Christina, did you talk to your daughters about it? Christina and I are similar. We have all daughters. AK has all no, you have sons and daughter.
Yep.
And then Quantrell has
I have
one
a
of
son
each.
and a daughter
Well, I know that my 16-year-old has not had sex yet.
that you know of.
I know for sure she is
Okay.
not. I would love to talk to her about masturbation, but I do not think that it would be something that she would take seriously.
It's a terribly uncomfortable
Yeah,
conversation.
absolutely.
I talked about it with
Absolutely.
my daughters, and they were just like, "What the fuck? Why are you
Absolutely.
doing this?" But it was important to me because we live in a home that is smaller, right? And we're in closer quarters. And so when they started to hit those teen years, and it's important to mention that my daughters waited till a lot later than your average kid did to become sexually active. And the reason that that's important to note is because I knew that they had waited. And so I knew that when they started to explore their own sexuality, the likelihood was that that was the way they were going to be doing it. And so it was kind of like, yo, I am very much of the mentality of like, smoke them if you got them. Like if you find it and it's what you're doing, do you? But like lock the door. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
because I'm the kind of person that comes through your door like a freaking rhino. Like there's no chill. I'm busting through everything, right? So it was kind of like, I don't like locked doors in my home, but if your door is locked, I can take that as let me give you some privacy. Now, you're not going to live with locked doors. Like I pay the rent, I pay the SMUD. You don't get to live in a house with a locked door in my space. However, I can understand if it's locked for like a little minute and I can be like, okay, some private time might be being had. But it was important to me as the mother of young women that they understand that self-pleasure it's a learning experience.
Absolutely.
You learn what physically your body reacts to. You learn what you like. Not everyone likes the same thing. And so going back to the point of what you see if you believe what you see in movies and shows, the minute a man puts his penis in you, you're in the throes of an orgasm.
Yeah.
Or it's the pleasure receptacle is just so overwhelmed that you're just, I feel like it's performance sex.
Absolutely.
So you have to have a reality space about what sex is like. And I feel like you can't have that unless you really legitimately know your own body. The way that people masturbate is very different. Men have a more, I want to say, strategic way of doing it because their sex organs are outside of their body. Mm-hmm. But women's sex organs are not just outside of their body. There's different ways that women orgasm. I've recently learned that men have different ejaculations. I'm going to be honest with you. I had the presumption that men basically just had one, even though, not recently, but I want to say later in my life. How about that? It's not just putting it in and having an orgasm. That's not how it is for men. Men have different kinds. Sometimes men have more than one orgasm. If you don't listen to the conversation, you can't join the conversation. You see what I'm saying about having to corral these two?
Yep.
Do you feel comfortable with your partner masturbating? Do you know that your partner masturbates? Are you good with it if they do it without you?
I know my partner masturbates, and it does not bother me one bit. I
It's
know
not
he
your
watches
business.
porno, and it doesn't bother me at all.
Right?
It doesn't bother me.
If you two are still getting broken off with each other, like who cares?
There's no problems when we're in bed together, so I don't care what he does outside.
Do
with
you
his
care
own
if your
body.
partner masturbates without you?
I would love it if my partner, if I had one, masturbated without me and with me.
I think that men really like watching women masturbate.
Absolutely.
And it's like, to me, it's like, that's private time.
But it's
I
not,
thi- I think
it's
that
not
is
only
so hot.
watching them. It's, I can just watch them, or they can just watch me, or we can watch each other. We can make it a whole experience. Why
I
does it
think
limit
it's hot,
yourself?
for real.
Well, men are extremely visual creatures. And then, of course, I am also an extreme. So it's funny because I personally I don't feel like masturbating for me. Me masturbating is for someone else. For me, it feels like a very private thing. But I am obsessed with male masturbation. Like I want to know all about. I'm like, do you masturbate? When did you? Tell me about it.
Yep.
Are you done? You gonna show me a video of it? I want to see it. I want to know.
Send me a
like, I want to
picture.
know. Yeah, but it's not the same way. And
No.
I understand that it's probably deemed
In
unfair.
that whole thing, I think you've made masturbation about just yourself.
It is.
That's what it is,
It
yeah.
100%
That's what it
is.
sounds
No,
like.
it's not. It's not that I'm ashamed of it.
Yeah,
it's that.
it has nothing to do with that. If you want to open it up to whoever,
Open it up.
Bust
yeah,
it open.
to whoever, then you could do that. But you've made it just about yourself. For me,
Damn, that's good.
I
It's really
love
smooth.
I love the more than I'm a man, yeah, but I think I'm a little different because I like the visual, but why wouldn't I love the physical? You're missing a whole realm of just pleasure when you touch and involve yourself in the whole experience of one another's journey.
Oh, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's just been how I've felt about it. For me personally, it's just been the way that I've.
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
No, just in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that it's a lot of couples masturbate together, watch one another. A lot of, like I said, men being hyper visual creatures like to watch women masturbate.
They love it.
Not all women are into knowing about their men doing it. I have a good handful of female friends who are like, he better not be.
No.
And I'm like, it's his, girl.
Exactly.
Like-
and there's times when I'm not available. My holes aren't there, so you got to do you.
Or they're like out of order.
Could be both.
Okay.
So, do you. Do you.
Literally.
It
They're
doesn't,
vacationing.
exactly. Literally.
The gardening may not have been done.
Wow. The garden.
I don't feel sexy if things aren't manicured. I like to have things
100%.
Yeah, I like to have things a certain way, and so if it happens and it was not in the plan, I'm like, just so you know, because I don't feel comfortable if
I like when
if the
walk
grounds
through the
ain't trim.
neighborhood.
Things are
I like I
sexier
knock
when
onto the
it's
neighborhood
shaved.
Yes.
And everything's nice and manicured.
Yeah, and it's a personal preference. I know. Listen,
Harry's coming back.
Somebody in my past was
Harry
all
is
about
coming
full
back.
bush,
I'll
like
pass.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, watch. So I was like, that's so curious. This age that we were in at the time is like, that's not typical. And he told me that when he was single digits, 6, 7, 8 years old, found his father's like classic stash of Playboy, like it's still in the plastic. Like the man had really taken care of this collection of Playboy. And of course he's like, as a kid, I was like, fuck it, open them right up, and if you're looking at 70s Playboy, what are you looking at?
Bush.
Full bush. So as an adult man, that was his trigger to what he found, fascinating and sexy. He was all about like bruh, a full natural bush.
You know what that triggers to me? Regurgitation.
Wow, that's a little extreme, bro.
I'm kidding.
Wow. I was going to say, damn.
I'm kidding.
Jesus. Lord.
Here's this beautiful woman, and next thing you know, she
He's
has
like,
a bush.
"No."
And he's like,
pukes.
who's?
Nah, I'm good.
Hello. If I sensitized any piece of me, why would you want me here?
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Okay.
So anyway, going back to it. It's funny that you and I, you haven't had that conversation, but you're open to it with the kids about masturbating.
I'm definitely open to it. Oh,
What about
absolutely.
you? Are you open to it, or it's not a conversation you think you want to have?
Whatever's clever.
Yeah.
I'm down for the kids. Whatever they want to talk about.
Do you believe that if you have that conversation, well, it's harder for you because I don't think dads are really down with talking about masturbating with their daughters.
To their daughters.
I wouldn't
yeah.
recommend
And I think
that.
that's a conversation
Yeah.
maybe the mom would have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do firmly believe that giving someone empowering someone to explore their own body and find out what feels good to them then empowers them to have the healthiest sexual experiences that they get into because you feel empowered now to say, no, that doesn't work for me, or let's try it this way. I cannot tell you how many of my friends, and it's a number that makes me really sad, and I won't share, obviously, but I could not tell you how many of my friends have never had an orgasm from having sex. Just hasn't happened. Because they don't
They
feel
don't know their
comfortable
bodies.
enough
Yeah.
to tell their partner this is what feels good.
Exactly.
And so they fake it. They fake it.
No. You're not living if you're faking.
That pisses me off so bad for them. Like, it makes me literally angry. I'm like,
It
you're
kinda-
giving a motherfucker, first of all, you're giving him false credit, and then you're sending him out to the universe thinking that what he's been doing is working.
But how doesn't he know?
I think that you guys really have this idea that you know, and you don't.
You guys know.
Women are
How
good.
doesn't he know?
We can fake very, very well.
I
I
think
faked
a lot of
before.
If you got a
do.
penis, you can feel it.
I got to be honest with you. I think you'd be shocked by how many women fake it and get away with it.
Yep.
I really do.
They're Kegel galores then. Because
What?
There's some men that aren't really in tune with that, though.
Right.
Word?
Right.
There's some men that
There
have
are
the
a
no
lot of
clue.
men
They're
who
That's what
about
I'm
them.
saying. That's what I'm saying. How does he not know? Or how do they not know?
If every person you've ever been with, so here's the thing. I think that if you end up with a person who doesn't tell you that they're not having orgasms in sex, I think that you probably have a certain type of person you end up with, right? Because I think that you have to have a certain type for that to be what becomes your normal, right?
True.
So if you end up with a couple of girls, few girls who are not maybe super confident,
It's because their lover isn't that person who's giving it to them.
correct, and
It's not that they're not trying.
they also don't feel comfortable conveying that.
Right.
How would he be any wiser if his
'Cause he thinks
experience
he's doing the world.
Exactly.
I've been doing the world. Why are you saying something now?
Exactly. Exactly.
too bad.
And so that leads into these people who are out there who think they good pieces of ass, and then you end up with them, and you're like,
Girl?
I was gonna say then she gets
That's
with the
not
next
it.
guy. You know.
And then this guy's like, Psh, I'm a marathon runner, fool.
Yeah, and just put it on her.
So, do you believe that every woman you've ever been with has had orgasms and not faked it ever?
No, I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
Because then I would be a superhero. And I am not.
But you would think you are, right?
Oh, hell yeah. I got a comic book and everything.
I got the cape on right now,
It's in the
yo.
cleaners right now, or I would have it with me. You're lucky you don't have a visionary screen or something like that.
You know that statistically, orgasms help you feel. They help you feel better. They help reduce headaches. They help
Stress.
reduce general
Tension,
stress, aches, and
stress.
pain. Stress. Yes. I mean,
Diabetes. Look it up. Google it.
Cancer.
Siri.
Damn.
Siri.
Dead.
It's better than bankruptcy.
better than baking soda.
Wait.
Shit.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slow as hell.
Okay.
Have you all masturbated with a partner?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Oh, I'm the only one who hasn't.
Okay, well, you got to get on that.
I remember I also admitted in a previous podcast that I am unusually uptight about certain things.
And masturbation in front of your partner is one of them? Or?
It just doesn't feel like it's something I'm supposed to do in front of someone else. It's private.
It's like that Frozen.
And that's okay.
It's that Frozen shit.
What?
You gotta just let it go.
So what? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Be Elsa.
I was
You
like,
gotta just let it go.
if y'all start singing, I'm leaving, okay? Because I know none of you have been gifted with that voice.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You've lost
Yeah,
me.
that's okay. That's okay.
I was trying, Christina. You started it.
Stop that.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Stop that
I can't
shit.
sing worse
Yeah,
shit.
Stop that, please.
The Lord gave you many gifts if you subscribe to a
Many,
Lord.
just not
if not the
singing.
universe. Whatever you believe is bigger than you.
So are you not, what about masturbation as foreplay with your partner? Is that
I
not
don't need
something that
masturbation
you-
as foreplay because my partner is the foreplay.
But you
What does
wouldn't
that mean,
want to
your
like,
partner is a foreplay?
They
Like
do
you look
the-
at them and that's
so
their
like
foreplay?
We're touching each other.
Oh, okay.
you're masturbating in front of him. That can be incorporated as part of foreplay.
Oh, I believe it. I don't have a problem with it for other people. It just doesn't feel like something I'm interested in. I honestly have had a strong like attachment to that being my time for me.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense. And
it does.
I acknowledge that not everybody gets that. Like there are people who are really, really into that mutual thing. It's just not something
It's
gotten into.
a masturbation orgasm is different from a sexual
Totally.
orgasm.
Totally.
It's a whole, you're in a whole different mindset. It's a whole different euphoric feeling. It's different.
And maybe it's
you know?
a vulnerability thing. Maybe
Could be. Yeah.
it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like suss out like what my opposition is, but it's always just felt like it's my time.
It's your control. It's your power.
It's
your
you
game.
and your
It's
mind.
control.
Is
I
it?
think, yeah.
I mean, I could be open to
Yeah,
that
it's a
because I
control
am a little bit of a
Yeah,
control
it's
freak.
control. That's your domain. Nobody can tell you what's going on. You know what pleases you. You know exactly
Mm-hmm.
what to do. And if you want to change it up, you'll change it up. And if you don't, you'll keep it the same. You know how to get it there quick, or you know how to make it long.
And I also am not one. I think we've had this conversation before, and you were like fucking shocked. I have never owned and do not own a dildo.
I am shocked by that.
I am.
I
as
have
well.
a treasure chest and you don't own one.
I
So
don't.
that-
I don't. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with
no,
them.
there's absolutely nothing wrong
Like
with that.
I'm down with it. If you gotta amuse them, it's never been something that I've needed because I've had a very personal relationship with my own physical body. I actually masturbate much more when I'm in a relationship. When I'm single and alone, I don't masturbate very often.
Really?
Yeah, because then it just reminds you of like the weight of a man's body on top of you that you don't have, and then I'm like mad fucking myself, right? Like where the fuck's the dude? Nobody wants to hate
Mad
fuck
fucking
themselves.
yourself.
I just had a visual. I visualized that just a minute. I was like, keep talking, girl. Just keep talking.
I prefer to have sex with another person. So if I'm and I also have to admit that I'm a person that when I'm not in a relationship, I have a tendency to have really long stretches of celibacy, like long stretches of celibacy.
I do as well. Oh, no, never mind.
Did
Check
you just
that.
lie to us?
Yeah, I did.
There is nothing wrong with celibacy. I think that celibacy is one of those spaces that allows you to sort out issues that may have contributed to your relationships not working or things that you need to suss out. You know, I think there's a great thing with taking out sex for some time.
Forced celibacy count? Forced celibacy?
You mean because no one will fuck you?
Yes.
I guess.
Okay. I was celibacy too.
That's what
I have celibacy.
I have a question. Did you go to the dentist at all during that time? I mean, you might have had yuck mouth and nobody.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. Because you're a good looking dude. Why is no one having sex with you?
Yeah.
I don't put myself out there to have sex.
Same. That's real talk.
That's why.
When I have had long stretches of celibacy, it is because the walls are high.
But you still don't want to have an orgasm. I mean, like for me, that's like a nightcap. I mean, whether it's by dick or by me, I mean, it's a nightcap. It is. I mean,
Cheers to that.
I'm feeling Christina on
Girl, yes.
I'm feeling Christina on that big time.
I mean, that's real talk. Like,
wait a
if my
minute.
husband's being a dick, like I don't need you.
You don't
tonight.
need his dick.
I got me. I got my own little rubber.
So,
dick.
Alton,
I
is that
mean,
your way of saying you masturbate every night?
No, I don't masturbate every night.
Are we going to talk about how often we masturbate?
We can.
I don't care.
All right. How often?
Everybody's looking at me, so I guess it's my turn
You've
first.
been the first one to volunteer every
It
time.
doesn't-
If you don't want to, you don't have to.
No,
not at all.
Come on now, it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Do you think you have an average?
No, I don't have it. I masturbate every day.
Every day?
And it's given a number of however I feel that day. Sometimes I'm extra horny, and sometimes I'm just a little horny. But
Every
I'm
day?
always horny. So every day I'm going to masturbate. I can't give you an exact number. I've gone as high as
Well,
maybe
daily,
Damn,
da-
every
hey,
day.
hey,
7
hey,
times.
daily was good, Brett. Daily
7
was
times
good.
in a day.
Oh, Lord.
And so
How
far
do you
today,
get anything done when you're jerking the bird 7 times a day?
I'm efficient.
3-stroke.
That's
Pow.
efficient.
Damn.
That's efficient.
Hey,
Doesn't
don't
mean I'm
nobody know
quick.
you like you do.
Doesn't mean I'm quick. I'm
If
efficient.
any
You had to
single
throw that
ladies
in
are
there.
listening,
Had to throw that
not
in there.
quick.
Hey, ladies,
What
I'm
that
single.
means is he has good control.
Hey,
Yes.
when I
That's
know it's
all
time
that
to go,
means.
it's time to go. I got to get to work.
7 times in a day.
How often for you?
No,
average.
not every day.
Oh, okay. Every day, got it.
Every day.
Every day.
We got it.
Dough.
For me, I'm sorry I had to drink that beer. I got this bomb ass beer right here
That
right
beer
now.
is really
This
good.
beer
Very
is
smooth.
off the chain.
It's okay.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's called Hoppy. Shit, I forgot.
Oh.
See?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Damn.
Yeah, it's that good. For me, it just depends. It depends on how I feel, how much energy I got.
Yep.
Sometimes by the time I go to bed, I'm just like, I'm done.
Right.
I just, I've been on this marathon for working and stuff lately, and it's like, you take a shower, brush your teeth, all that good stuff, and then
Floss,
by the time you get into
nasty
bed,
asses.
you'd be like, I thought about it, but nah, I'm cool. I'm
ain't got no
done. I'm
energy
going
in
to
your
sleep.
hand at that point.
Hey, I fuck with that tomorrow. I'll fuck
yeah.
with it tomorrow. So it just varies on, if I'm on one and I'm just got energy, go to bed and stuff, and I'm like looking around.
That'll help settle
You
this
know,
evening
absolutely
down.
nice.
Shoot,
It'll wind down real nice.
Throw on the fire stick.
Yeah.
Throw it on the adult channel.
Do you watch pornography when you masturbate?
Not all the time.
Not
No.
all the time. What about you, Q?
Yes.
Every time?
Yes.
Even if you're relying on the spank bank, you still have to have a visual on top of it?
I don't have to have anything. I like it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. That's,
And you
that's
do
straight
it
up.
mostly with pornography?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
It
It just depends on how you feel.
Yeah, it's just depending. It's like, and I be thinking too much sometimes. I'm like,
What the fuck was that?
Can't find a network.
fucking watch. Yeah. Anyways, talking shit.
The watch is like, lies, motherfucker. I'm on your wrist.
I turn that shit off. Anyways,
Your watch
before I-
just tried to snitch
before I
on
get in
your
trouble.
ass. I
The
heard
browser
it.
before I get in
history.
trouble.
That was Siri.
Watch the watch talking and
He
shit.
was masturbating this morning.
He is lying.
It's lying.
He was
touched
stroking
himself
his
all the
dick.
time.
He was stroking his dick
He
this
touched
morning.
himself long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question, and this is something I genuinely don't know. Do you have to stroke yourself to complete?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you?
What does that mean?
No, I don't
Yeah,
have to
exactly-
touch myself at all.
exactly.
I don't
What does that
put my
mean?
hands on
You-
myself at all.
Oh, you
You could
don't?
have an orgasm without touching yourself?
Yeah.
What?
How do you do that?
Damn, girl,
Wow.
you need to
Can you
share.
teach me?
I've never had an orgasm without touching myself.
Well,
Just with your thoughts?
Wait.
No.
Just in your where?
No. Have you really never come to orgasm like crossing your legs?
In a car. Well, I have a piercing, so in a car ride, yeah. Yeah, in that case.
Oh, the boys
Yeah.
are blown away. Hold on.
Piercing where? Pray tell.
You know where the fuck where?
No, I don't. That's why I'm asking.
You ain't having. You ain't just
okay.
crossing your
In
legs.
your nose?
Wow.
I have that
She's real
too.
bendy and don't have a spine.
Oh wow.
You're a jellyfish. I like jellyfish.
So yeah.
So yeah, after I got my piercing and we were driving, I was like, "Whoa!"
Yes.
So in that case,
So you
yeah.
had one.
Yeah,
I can just
After the
cross
piercing.
my legs.
yeah,
And
That
come
can
to
happen.
orgasm. Yes. Yeah.
absolutely.
I can't do that, dog.
I'm blown. Yeah. I'm blown, homie. I'm blown.
It's 4th of July in my head right now.
Yeah, I'm blown.
It's Rayleigh Field right now.
Y'all seriously, y'all just thought the only way women orgasm is to put their fingers in
No,
themselves?
negatory.
No,
We're
well,
not dumb.
I mean,
We're not
touch,
dumb,
but
yeah.
but there's some type of physical touch.
but I
Well,
didn't think
there
you
is,
could,
I guess.
In
I
a
didn't
sense,
think you
there
just
is.
sit there. I
Yeah.
didn't think you were a freaking X-Men and you can think
Yeah, it
about
wasn't
it.
like I was like David Blaine, like, it's not like
okay,
that.
okay. So Christina, yours, you're saying it was a piercing,
Yes,
but yours,
I'm not
yours is
pierced
not
down
a
there.
piercing.
No, I'm not
just
pierced down there.
rubbing anything rubbing
I
against
think
the
it's
clit.
also, so let's be honest. I think that I would have to say that we're sitting at a table with people who are highly sexual. Is that fair?
Yes. I agree.
There are plenty of people that I know who do not have a high sex drive. That like sex can sometimes be a chore.
Yeah.
it's something that you do because you're in a relationship with somebody and that's what y'all do.
You want to make them happy,
Right.
blah, blah,
I am
blah.
not that
Yeah.
person.
Me
I
neither.
am an extremely sexual being. And I have a very clear understanding of like how much I need. I was having a conversation recently about like I'm in an age where things are changing with my body. And even though I haven't like started the change yet or anything, things are still changing. And so what used to be my sex drive has subsided some, and it makes me really it actually triggers up some depression because
I could see
I
that.
feel like, is that going to go away? Am I going to lose that? Because to me, my sex drive and my sexuality is very, very integral to who I am. It's a big part of me. And so to feel that changed recently, it scares me a little bit. And so I've had very, very frank discussions with my doctor about the course of action I'm going to take to continue to work to feel like myself. But no, to answer the question in the short form, going backwards, and I think it was important to mention that the reason that I say we're highly sexual beings is because, I have more often than not, masturbating for me does not involve hands at all. Percentage-wise, it'd be less than 10% of the time.
So let me ask this. So
Less than that.
Describe to me what happens if you're not using a toy or your hand or whatever. How is it that you're reaching orgasm?
So when women cross their legs, their sex organs are, it's rubbed
Together.
Yeah.
Put-
Yeah.
Squeezed together.
Yes.
It could be jeans. It could be
No, I don't do it with jeans. That's a lot.
something
That's
touching,
rough.
something
Yours
rubbing
is
against
just
it.
aligned
Whoa.
perfectly to where when you cross your legs, it's patal time. And if you're in the right place and right time and nobody's noticing, you get down.
I think that the piercing, so you're lucky because I've been told that statistically women who get pierced below the waist lose all sense.
Yeah.
50% of women who get pierced below the waist lose all feeling in the area that gets pierced.
That's what I was gonna say, and I believe that's also in the breast. Also, if people
That ain't
get,
the case for me.
if women get their nipples pierced, that sometimes it basically goes the
Kills,
opposite,
yeah.
and it kills all the feeling.
Yeah.
I've
that's
had
not-
mine for over 14
Your
years.
nipples
and
are
it's
pierced
never,
too?
Yeah, both
No.
of ours. Oh,
One of
you're
somebody's here.
below the waist and I'm above the
Yes.
waist. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I've
did not
lost
lose.
any sensation.
Quantrell,
Why is this so
Quantrell
sh-
was like, oh, he was like, ah.
He was disappointed
Yeah,
that
he's
you don't have
disappointed.
pierced nipples.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, but
Let me tell you, I have a lot of holes in this body, and the most motherfucking painful piercing of them all was the nips.
that's why I'm hesitant.
Holy shit, Batman! I had a breast cancer scare last year and had to have my stuff taken out, and go through all the healing process of that. And then by the time everything was healed and I got the all clear, because I didn't put them back in, waiting until I found out if I was all clear or not. Which thank thankfully I was all clear.
Thank gosh.
Ladies, check your breasts.
Please.
And don't just check your breasts the way that they show you with the hands up. The way that I found mine was actually laying down.
Yeah.
I was laying down
That's
and
what
I
they
was
recommend.
I was
Arms
fixing
up.
something with my sport bra and I found a pretty decent sized lump and then ended up with 3 lumps. So
And don't be embarrassed to ask your gynecologist
Oh my
or
God,
anybody
no.
how to do it. I recently had an appointment and I said, "Can you really show
yeah,
me
like
how?"
reteach.
'Cause
Yeah.
I know far too many people that
I have
been
2
diagnosed.
friends right now with stage 4 breast cancer.
Yeah,
and
I have
at this
one.
moment. Yeah.
who's very close to me.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I not only healed, but then was waiting for my results. I had a whole thing and I ended up with like 3 different rounds of procedures that had to get done, including the last one being a surgery, and ultimately did not have breast cancer. But thank you, universe. Thank you, everything that is bigger and better than me. But then, so over the course of all this stuff, it was well over a month that I had not had my ring. And I only have 1 ring left because I aesthetically went and got both done because the piercer was like, if you don't do them both now, you will never come back for the second. Yeah. And so I let this person convince me to put 2 in, and that's not what I wanted. And as soon as he pierced them, and let me tell you, it was fucking white hot, just intense pain. And then I was like, now take it out. I hate it. I didn't like them both done. But so anyway, I did not lose feeling. In fact, it went the opposite way. It really, really like heightened feelings.
In a good way.
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's something about that tugging that's like, yeah, it's bananas. It's a whole different ball game. And I know because I have one and I don't have the other.
Yep.
So it's not that there's not feeling in the other. It's just a very heightened, I want to say almost like an aggressive sexual tension that you feel from that, from the piercing.
So Christina.
So is yours similar?
That's what I was getting ready to ask. So is there like a thing like on tugging, or is it how has it
Do you have
heightened
labia or
your-
clit?
It's a hood.
It's hood,
right
okay.
above my clit. So
Okay.
it's like a barbell that sits on my
Got
clit.
it.
So if I walk,
Got it.
anything I do, it's
So if you don't
sitting
know
on
about
there.
piercings in private parts, women can have hood, which is right above at the top of the clit. You can have labia piercings. Actually, you can have several down there. I've seen women with bars all the way down.
Yes.
Which is fucking gnarly. Same thing with men. Men can have a bar through the very top of the shaft or the Prince Albert, which goes through the urethra.
Hell no. Nobody. Nope.
Okay.
No.
Q, any opinion?
No, thank you.
I don't know that I would want to have sex with somebody that had a piercing
Hey,
like
I'm gonna tell you
that.
something. So my ex's brother, he's a fucking weirdo. God, I hope he doesn't listen to this. 'Cause
I'm sure he does.
He recently followed me on Instagram.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's how I met him. Like, you know how some people put out a hand for a handshake? Like in a fucking club, he whipped out his pierced cock. Real talk. He was like, "Hey, look." I was like, "Hey." He's like, "I just wanted to." I was like, "It's like a fucking party favor for you.
Was
like,
he
you whip it out like a
Was
monkey."
he circumcised?
Yes, they were both
Okay.
circumcised. He had the urethra one, the Prince Albert through the urethra, the hole.
Nope.
No.
Nobody. Nope.
He actually said that it really, really was not painful.
I
the
don't
way that
give a fuck.
I just don't know how that would enhance things for me. Maybe it
Nope.
does for
think
the
about
man.
where it's sitting
All I'm thinking is
when it goes in.
he gonna go pee and spray the whole toilet bowl.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's like, you remember what you, so y'all don't know this, but in Brooklyn, they put like this cap on the fire hydrant. Have you ever seen that?
No.
You ever see like television shows or anything where kids are in Brooklyn and they put that cap on the pump on the fire hydrant and it sprays all different ways? That's how it
It's gonna
is.
be a rain bird.
This just reminded me of the time I peed on the shower curtain. Do you remember that?
Here we
I thought it
go.
was Quantrell. Yeah, Quantrell and I.
Together, you guys peed on a shower curtain? I'm confused.
No, Quantrell and I, we ended up going to a Mexican food place in where I used to live, and there was this bartender. We didn't even know his fucking name. We just called him RoboCop. Yeah, because
RoboCop.
Yeah, we just
He
called him
pours stiff drinks.
just stiff drinks. So we called him RoboCop. We went in there one night and got fucked up.
Faded.
Like demolished.
Faded.
Like had no business with the keys in the car.
What'd you do when
None.
you got home?
I went home. I had to use the restroom, and I peed all over the shower curtain.
Why?
I don't know. I was fucked up.
Kind of like the night you spit on his window because you thought the window was open.
You know where I woke up? In a Del Taco parking lot at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
dear.
How old were these
Yeah.
motherfuckers over
Probably
there?
2 years ago. Probably a couple years ago.
Yesterday.
Couple years ago. Shit.
Faded.
Yeah, last weekend.
Wow.
So what?
Hey, no judgment. That's
Yeah.
one of the
Spring
things
break.
we do here.
Yo.
Spring
But
break.
hey, just to be clear, we do not drink and drive.
No,
we weren't
know.
driving. We were taking
Jump.
jump.
So it was
Lying
it was
motherfucker.
recent. It was recent.
They lying. They lying. There wasn't no damn Uber in that
Uber.
time.
Little lying
Lying
scooter.
asses. Y'all ain't even slick liars. You see?
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are y'all finished?
Yeah, it's just funny. we Quantrell and I have so many stories we could drop on here. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
You two need a minute or you done?
I know, wiping the tears.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
let
All
us
right,
know.
Let's go.
Masturbation.
Yep.
How much masturbation is too much?
Ooh.
I think it becomes too much if you're in a relationship, if it's affecting the relationship.
If it starts
I mean,
affecting anything, it's too much.
Yeah,
If it starts
exactly.
taking over your right way of life.
Your hand
Too
hurts.
much.
You got carpal tunnel.
There you
that,
got
you got
carpal tunnel.
problems.
If you got to
know?
see the doctor, you got to wear a brace
Yeah.
in
Your
between
pinky
jack
won't
off.
straighten out.
Yeah,
Your
you
hand's
get
back
surgery.
You like this. Your
Hey,
pinky
hey,
won't
hey, don't
straighten
shake his hand. Don't shake his hand. You'll catch it.
out. Y'all are slow.
Yeah. Damn.
Do you think that?
I think it's more of when your sex life depreciates.
Yeah.
Because
When
you-
you no longer are having as much sex because you're masturbating so much, you're basically satisfied. And then when the partner's like, "Hey, what's up?" Let's or doing something, and all of a sudden you be like, "I'm cool."
That's
then
too
that's
much.
the problem. Yeah. That's
Do,
the problem.
and do you think that? So you said it starts to affect your sex life with your partner, and you say I'm satisfied. Do you personally feel satisfied enough to not have sex with a partner when you've been masturbating a lot?
No, it's a different
Yeah, I
kind of
haven't
size.
had that.
Yeah,
Totally
it's
different.
Although, in fairness, I personally have not had an experience of masturbating more than maybe a couple times a day, and frankly speaking, that's pretty rare as well.
Yeah.
I would say my average when I'm not in a relationship is once every couple months.
Really?
And if I'm in a relationship, it's probably a couple times a week.
Unicorn.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a unicorn.
Unicorn?
That's a unicorn Pegasus.
Yeah.
Jackalope.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn, he
Hell
said jackalope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm
What do you
having
call it?
sex,
A lumpacabra? What is it
a,
called?
a lumpa cabra,
I don't know.
it's a chupa cabra.
Whatever you call it. One of them things.
Okay. He done made a whole new animal.
Fuck that is. But
I thought that was like a food you ate.
I was like, he hungry. He wants some lumpia.
I new black clothing.
Yeah, if I'm in a relationship, I masturbate more a few times a week. Probably sometimes more than that.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
like it's like like you might think back to
keep
like
it
what
rolling.
happened
That's
last
true,
night.
that's
and be
true.
like,
Oh, he
that
put
shit was hot.
He put it down.
Yeah, he dropped it on me, and
Yeah.
you put it in
Or
the spank
she.
bank. Or she, yes,
Yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
correct,
Just saying.
correct.
whatever your sexual orientation. is.
So for those of you who have had, and you, let me be clear that the way that you answer this, you can be careful. For those of you who have had multiple partner sex, have y'all just, damn, you two looked scared for a second. You okay?
No, I'm
The
good.
question.
AK leaving
I'm
the
good.
table.
He's
No,
running.
They're
I'm
like,
grabbing a
bye.
drink. I'm grabbing drinks right now. Refills.
For those of you who have had multiple partner sex, do you enjoy like watching somebody self-pleasure while you have sex with a partner? Is that part of the enjoyable aspect of being visual? Because I think you're also a visual person too, right?
I'm a very
Christina?
visual person.
So I think that I would love to see some research on highly sexual women having the same sort of need for visuals the way that men do. Because a lot of my girlfriends don't love porn.
See, I watch porn.
A lot of them love a ton of porn.
Yeah.
But I do have a good sect of friends who are not into pornography. Because let's keep it real. If we're being honest, 99% of pornography is not made for women.
It's not.
And
no,
and
no.
and typically it is extremely debasing for women. And I think that if you're being totally honest about pornography, what you see in pornography can actually have unhealthy effects on what you think sex is like.
Absolutely.
Porn,
Very much can.
Yeah, porn.
I agree.
Porn is
Do you need more?
it's super
Yeah, she
visual, but it's man, I'm sitting here trying to think about it. Porn is so sideways. It's not like
I think that it can skew your
It's
perception of
unrealistic.
yes,
yes,
to
yes.
some
it's
point.
totally unrealistic. A lot of it is just faked. It's just
hence the screaming woman the minute the penis is inside of her.
it's for the shock factor. It
I actually think that watching excessive porn is worse for you than excessive masturbation.
I think so too.
I think it
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think so, too.
rewires something in your brain.
Absolutely.
because you're looking for something that's not realistic
Yeah.
You were going to say
for
something,
the majority
Q.
of people.
I was going to say something a whole bunch of times. I forgot.
Oh,
Never mind.
okay. Bring it back when you remember.
Oh, believe me, I will.
So anyway, so I have a very good circle of female friends who do not watch pornography. They feel like it's unrealistic. They feel like it's debasing, and I respect that. You know, while I might not agree 100% with them, I do also understand like what you're looking at in pornography as a woman is really not real life for what sex looks like.
No, and it's 2019, so there are. I mean, you go to Pornhub, and the categories of options are ridiculous. So you want that corny storyline shit.
Can Christina and I get a top off, please?
It depends
I like
on
some Pornhub.
It
Pornhub,
depends
yeah.
on what you're
Pornhub?
looking
I like
for.
you porn.
Like you said,
I
you're
prefer
looking
that
at
one.
you're looking at
Ex-hamster.
Pornhub, and
What'd
they
you
have
say?
a plethora
What'd you say?
of choices.
What'd you just say?
Yeah, I mean, you want stepdaddy shit. They have
They
that.
have
Bro,
everything.
I
They
just
have
learned
that.
about this.
That's-
Like steps. Well, it's called. I guess it's called
Stepdaughter
sibling
shit,
porn.
yeah.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
Awesome.
Or the ones
That's what
where
it is.
where the girls look really young.
I
Like that.
really try not to kink shame, but there's something odd to me about like familial porn.
You just got to open it up.
Nah, I'm not gonna open up.
It's
Yeah,
all
I mean,
play.
I'm pretty open.
I'm also
but
not gonna open up to pornography with girls who clearly look like minors.
Exactly.
I have
no.
daughters. You have daughters.
It
like,
doesn't matter
that's
if her
weird.
license.
For me, that's
you know,
weird.
her birthday
Yeah.
says she's
If
18.
they
She
look
looks
at it
12.
If she's
they're wearing-
intended to
and they're
look
wearing
very-
braces and they look like they're 9, that's different.
Yeah.
That's
But
totally different.
there is a category
There is a
of porn
category
for that.
There's a category for everything. We
Oh my
talking
god!
about Pornhub.
I also so
Excuse me.
pop it. Oh, that one's weird. Yeah, that's the carpal tunnel
That's
one.
the Costco shit.
Good Lord.
Don't shit yourself.
Or do yourself. Caca.
Oh my god!
Please don't
middle-aged
caca,
man
Alton.
saying caca.
Caca poo
That's
poo.
one of my words. That's one of
He
my
done took
words.
off his whole shirt.
Caca
Still
and
taking his
sheep.
clothes off.
No.
You wearing a G-string?
Caca.
My hand hurts.
You need some help. You need a boost on that.
Hey, y'all, I got this bottle of, I don't know what this bottle is, some brute, but this motherfucker ain't coming
It
out.
is a brute.
No, this is the Costco bubbles that only taste good if you put champagne in it.
Yeah.
You don't drink it plain. Oh,
You need
Jesus
help, dog?
Christ.
Q works his
Christ.
hands a lot, so I don't. Oh.
Hey, shit.
yo, he got a sweat trickle.
I got strong hands.
Q does have strong hands. Q is a massage therapist, and he will treat you like a motherfucking chicken cutlet on that table. He will tenderize your ass.
I like chicken.
I about passed out.
I like chicken a lot.
He will fuck you up. You'll leave there and be sore for 4 days.
Damn.
With no penetration.
Oh. Can I have some more? I want juice, please.
Yeah. Tell me what's up.
Keep going.
Keep going. Pull my
No,
hair.
no, for real. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I want more.
my
You
hair.
said tell you when to stop.
Come on, Daddy.
Okay, that works.
Daddy.
Daddy. I am not into
That's
calling
one of
you
my
she
names.
goes.
Daddy.
No.
It
Come on,
creeps
Daddy.
me the fuck out. No, I'm not daddy. I'm not
No.
zaddy. I'm none of that.
Zaddy.
I don't want to think about nobody who could be my father when I'm fucking.
Can you explain? Okay, I feel old because I don't. What is zaddy?
Zaddy is like a hot man who's older.
Okay.
Who
Hold on,
you
what?
would
What are you saying?
zaddy.
With a Z?
That's the terminology now.
is
That's
that?
the new vernacular.
Like, oh, that's zaddy.
Yeah, it's like when somebody. Well,
People are saying this?
oh yes,
Lots of
particularly
people
in
are
black
saying
culture.
that.
Word?
So it's a man who is older who is hot that you would call him a zaddy, and then
Oh.
it's also for women who are into calling their man daddy, and it's the new it's
New
the new
thing to
slang.
call him.
Yeah,
That's dumb.
Yeah, but a lot of it is like I don't know if you've ever looked at the hashtag zaddy on Instagram. It's like these dudes who are like older, like white hair, gray hair, 60s, 50s, who are like jacked and buffed and dressed like fucking rock stars. Don't get me wrong, they're really very attractive men.
Right.
But me personally, the whole vernacular of zaddy.
I
is
just
not
learned
my
about that today, so
we be trying to teach y'all.
oh, don't call me
Yeah.
Zaddy, please. My name
I'm
is
looking on
Quantrell.
Instagram. I'm doing the zaddy. Let's
So I have questions. We have to get back to the come on back, AK. AK is playing bartender, but we're losing him to some important conversation because we gotta wind this down. Also, are you? AK went off to rub one out to talk to us about his experiences.
I'm back. Sorry, y'all. That bottle was kicking my ass.
Yeah, that bottle
man.
was a lot.
Woo.
So,
Okay, what's up?
A couple of things about masturbation, and I really want to take precautions to be mature about this conversation. In addition to all the sidebars and silliness, I actually have a friend who is very well versed in sex therapy and conversations about masturbation. And I think that at a later date, we will probably have to have her on, AK, because I think that she is going to come from a very different perspective. The reason that I opted to have two friends on first is because this conversation is typically so taboo. It's typically so awkward and uncomfortable. How better to normalize something than to sit down with your own friends, people, and talk about something that most people would never, ever openly admit.
I'm open to telling you I masturbated twice already.
Okay. I really hope he washed his hands before we started this day.
I know.
Hide your pillows.
He's stirring.
I told you a few minutes ago.
I made the Kool-Aid. You want some?
I was gonna say he's stirring drinks with his finger and shit. You know.
That's my swizzle stick.
What's that?
Oh, Jesus.
Hide your toilet paper rolls.
Scary movie. Did you ever see Scary Movie? With a dude with a hand?
No.
Oh.
He stirs the potatoes.
He sticks his hand
You two need a moment.
Little thing.
He sticks his hand in
This is what happens when you talk about masturbating. Look at these three. Look at them.
Some potatoes.
Ridiculous.
Man. Okay. We're
Everybody
back.
good?
We're back.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
I knew that this conversation was going to be this way. I knew it was
so
going to be a
I knew it
shit
was
ton of
sideways.
giggling.
Yeah. It's all good though.
But so that's what I'm saying. So I think that we are going to, the same way the sex podcast, and I promise you guys, part 2 of the sex podcast is coming. It's probably going to be in season 2 because the two people that we're going to have are just foolishly busy folks.
Yo,
it's gonna
and they are so different.
It's going to require just a little bit of finesse to make the schedules work. But,
Yes.
But the same way we're talking about masturbation, I think there's going to be a part 2 because there is somebody who I'm very interested in having like a very candid, a little less silly conversation about sex and masturbation. I'm talking about you, Sin. So I'm going to hit you up in that DM real soon. But going back to what we were talking about. So you guys were absolutely floored about the fact that I can have an orgasm without using my hands.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like I'm going to be a zoo animal where it's going to be like, prove it.
no, I don't need you to prove it. I'm just going to be looking at you extra special every time.
It just makes me think. Like
Damn, his voice cracked. You heard that?
Yeah, it did crack. Like some.
Alton's giddy right now. He's like,
this audio needs to be turned down. All the audio is a little too high right now.
we're gonna be wondering you walking into Disneyland if you
I
haven't.
don't think I've ever seen him that red ever.
No, I'm just
makes you think.
saying.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know, it makes me think. Like, damn, that is something.
You said 90% of the time?
I very, very rarely, and I think that might be part of the reason that I don't really feel interested in masturbating with a partner, because I think there's an expectation of what I'm doing, which is essentially using my fingers to pleasure myself, and I really don't.
That's a
You
whole,
lose the visual.
That's a whole different thing, because I think it's more it's visual for the other
It
person.
is, and so you
You can
lose
look that
the
up on
visual.
Pornhub.
You can look up what?
Pornhub.
Well,
You don't have to see the person doing anything. You can just look at the face now.
yeah, but we're not talking about porn right now.
I'm not saying.
But
that's
talking
what it is.
about
I'm
the
just
person
saying.
who's across from you.
Yeah, if you're doing it with a partner, you're losing what you're looking for in the visual of watching your partner pleasure yourself.
right, because as a partner, you're looking to see it.
Yes, you want
wanna
to see her
it.
bust it open.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's not the way I self pleasure. I feel like I've really blown y'all's mind here.
No,
I
you
am.
have.
I am blown
definitely
away.
did not mean to do that.
Yeah,
Because I know I need stimulation for the most part. There needs to be something.
Oh no, there
touching
is.
it.
There is. It's just I personally have many by a large number more clitoral orgasms than I do from penetration. Like the disparity in that number is huge, and I think that is probably the case for most women.
So I have a question. Has that ever happened at inappropriate times?
Well, no, because I know exactly how to cross my legs.
Do you have to be in the mind frame?
Yeah, no, it's not like I
Okay.
can just cross my legs in church and all of a sudden
Okay,
I'm
because
busting
I'm
it out.
picturing you just walking down the street and having an
No,
orgasm. Okay, okay.
No. There has to be that like, so I masturbate more often in the morning than I do at night.
Okay.
That's kind of where like you wake up and you get a good stretch, and I sleep naked, so there's a whole different thing happening there. Like you're there with your body, and
Yeah.
even though in this moment in my life I'm not 100% pleased with the way that I look physically, I still like when I say that I love me, I do. I still think I'm a sexy motherfucker, and I love all of my personal self. And so I spend quality motherfucking time with me.
As you should. As you fucking should.
And them mornings be feeling real right. You know what I'm saying? So
waking up feeling myself.
Yeah. So masturbation for me is by far more often going to happen in the morning. It's going to happen, when I'm getting that nice like language stretch, and you just feel like almost like a fucking cat. Yeah.
Is that the other 10%?
What?
You said 90% of the time you would cross your legs to reach clitoral
Right.
orgasm. So when you're doing that morning stretch, is that still a leg cross, or is that
No,
the
that's
other
that's
10%?
That's mostly that way. It really is most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's different, I think.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think
You
that's
know what? I
question had
wonder
to be
if other
asked.
I wonder if
Not
other
that
people
I-
are
but
going
I
to be
don't
able
know.
to
That
talk about
could be the
because I'm
norm.
wondering if other people do it.
Absolutely.
And this
I
is the
don't-
thing you don't know because honestly, most people think that when women masturbate, it's digital stimulation.
Yep.
Right.
That's exactly. Yeah.
And of course, that's what you have to show in a pornography because you need the visual. So hey, some of y'all be hitting me up in them DMs talking to me about private stuff. So who's going to be honest and tell me that that's how they do it? I want to know. Like, am I the fucking oddball? Which I wouldn't be surprised by at all.
Yes. I think you are.
but we don't know though. I cannot say
Hey,
that I've ever
so
had this
check
conversation.
Check this out.
Tell me.
Then we
Since
should
you
do
just
like
called me weird.
We should do like a little poll then.
I don't think people are going to answer the poll because they're going to be worried that you'll be able to see who they are.
I don't, and the thing is, I don't care who people are. I'll just close my
they
eyes.
do.
I would love to see the poll on people who can actually orgasm without touching themselves, compared to people who have to touch themselves.
curious.
Well,
too.
Christina is saying that it is possible. She herself has done it. But you do have
But
the
I
benefit
have
of
a piercing. So
But she still does it.
you still do it. So it's not
Right.
it's not as like crazy out there as you might expect it to be.
that's true.
Right.
So I'm curious if other people will acknowledge and admit. I have another friend that I could talk. I have a couple of girlfriends who are like real deep into like sex positivity. I think I'd like to chat with them. Go Q. You had something to say. I don't want you to forget it.
No, I think there's a lot of people who do it.
You do.
I do. That's it.
And wow.
Care to motherfucking elaborate? You understand how this podcast shit
That's all I
works,
got.
right?
That's all I got.
You understand how this podcast shit
Oh,
works,
you know
right?
what? I think they do. Yep, that's all I got.
Yeah, it's
No, I think it's for the reason because you said there's more people who don't come out and forthright and don't
talk about this.
touching themselves.
yeah.
If you don't talk about touching yourself, why would you talk about your ability to be able to cross your legs in a room full of people and come to
I
orgasm?
never
while
said I
holding
do
it
that
up?
in a room
I
full
didn't-
of people.
Did I say, Lori? Do you come?
Yeah,
to a
but I
room
feel
and-
like that's what you was like. Please,
You're
God,
feeling
let there
guilty.
be a girl who is crossing her legs in this room full of people so I can see it. I
Because
already know
do-
what
I
you're
do
wishfully
believe-
thinking.
Look at you. You're getting carried away.
Yeah.
My person was fictional. You made it about you.
But your voice just got real high.
Yeah. That's because I got my drink ready to sip.
It's so funny how uncomfortable this conversation can be. Like even if you're being
I don't
totally
think it's
candid.
uncomfortable here, but I
Yeah.
think in
If it
general,
was in
Yes.
public.
yeah,
Yes.
it
Absolutely.
becomes
At a
very
bar.
uncomfortable because people don't want to. They don't want you to know about them.
Some of what the problem is in this country is this desire for this provincial approach to sex. Listen. There's an awful lot of fucking pedophilia in this country.
Yes.
There's an awful lot of closeted homosexual behavior. There's an awful lot of repressed sexuality in this country in particular because we have this idea that we have to live this Christian moral life. And let me tell you something. You can 100% be a Christian moral person or whatever box you check in the religious world. You can be all of those things and still be a highly sexual being who has sex for pleasure because here's the deal. Somebody's going to go and bust out some Bible verse and they're going to say that sex is solely for procreation. And I say to that, bullshit. Because you would not have as many feeling receptors as you do in your fucking privates if it was just meant for you to stick it in, make a baby, and pop one out.
No, and you can
Wasn't that a recent
masturbate.
conversation.
You can masturbate,
Yes.
and God is still gonna love you.
You think so, but let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you, a gang of motherfuckers who are gonna tell you otherwise.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure.
Me, I'm like, if y'all subscribe to the theory that God sees everything, what you think He thinks about what y'all
if
do
you
when no
don't
one's
care?
looking?
Yep.
What if you don't care?
I don't personally. I've admitted this before. I don't personally know that I believe in a God anymore. Do I believe in a deity of some sort? Yeah, I think I do, but I don't know what that deity, like what the form is. So I don't want to call it a God because I don't subscribe to the, daddy in the heaven who's telling me I'm a bad girl. I don't believe in that. But for those of y'all who do, and you believe that God sees all, what do you think his opinion would be about what you masturbate to and how often you do it?
I'm just saying he watched porn.
Well, if you believe that God created everything, he created pornography too.
Well, he's watching it.
But I do believe that if more people were open about their own feelings of pleasure, sexuality, sex with partners, sex with themselves, I think if more people were open about it and we were more open and accepting about what is a very natural thing, that we would have a lot less of the corruption that we have in people who are sick.
Well, and my guilty pleasure is recently The Bachelorette. Okay, it's corny as hell, right?
You jerk off to The Bachelorette?
No, I do not jerk off to The Bachelorette.
Totally
I
missed
recently watched it.
Okay.
And
I'm still confused.
Yeah, I'm waiting for this to develop.
okay, so she's down to the last 3 guys.
Okay.
And they're going into the suite to go do their business. And one of the
gonna do all
guys,
3 of them.
Wait, she's having sex with all of them? Bitch.
Word?
Okay.
You've been missing out on
The
The Bachelorette.
Right.
Bachelorette.
Yeah, but one of the guys was like basically saying, you know, if you're having sex with other dudes, then you're not, he was very religious, you're not wife material, blah, 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 blah. And she told him, you know what? Yeah, I've had sex with more than one guy and God still loves me. And so she's kind of liberating women to be like, you know what? Hey, you know, it's okay to have sex as long as you're being safe. Whatever, it doesn't make you, you know, a hoe or less
You're
of a person.
experiencing the pleasure of
Exactly.
it. You're not freaking sitting
We
out
gotta
there
get
doing
rid
it
of this
Exactly.
fucking word hoe
Yes.
and slut because we don't use that word for men. We don't.
We don't. They're a little pimp and
Yeah,
they're
we
cool
do.
if they have sex. And
Bullshit.
Nah.
When a man has a very active sex life and multiple partners, it is looked upon with pride.
Yep.
Other men tell, oh, he's a pimp.
Yep.
This motherfucker
Yep.
out there getting
Him
the
pulling
ladies,
the hoes.
pulling the bitches. But if a woman has many sexual
They're
partners,
a
and I've had this
hoe.
conversation with you and you've admitted it, if a woman has too much of a body count, it doesn't make you feel good.
Correct.
See?
But why is it
And
okay?
he is a very very open-minded person, and he is saying that if the body count is too high, he's not good.
I'm
with it.
saying it as a general kind of thing, right?
Right,
As in, you know, people find out that so and so, she's been with 6 guys.
Right.
Okay. So and so's been with 60 guys. I ain't fucking with that bitch.
Have you been with
You know?
60 women?
No,
Have you been with 50 women?
no,
Have you been with 40 women?
I don't know.
Okay. So if you found out that a woman was with 40 men, you'd have a problem with that.
Probably.
See what I'm saying?
But if you were
there
with
is a double
60
standard in
women,
women's
yeah.
sexuality versus men.
But
Absolutely.
I also think that depends on like where you're at in life. And
I disagree.
And I'm not joking that. I'm
No, I know.
Being,
I know what
I'm being
I
very
mean,
sincere
I know
about
what you
that.
mean.
I think that, you know, early in your life, let's say 20s, somewhere in your 20s, right? And you find out that so-and-so been with 100 dudes. I ain't fucking with that bitch. Come on now.
Her past is her past. What does it have to do with you if she was safe?
Yeah.
I don't care.
But if it was a dude that
I
had
don't
100
care.
chicks,
I don't care if she was safe, you know, 100% of the time. I'm as a guy, I'm gonna look at it and be like, that shit blown out.
but would you look at another
You know that
dude
the
and
vagina
say
does
he's
not
a
get
hoe?
blown out, right?
There
No.
are some that do.
Yeah, from babies, not from
Yeah.
dicks.
No.
Y'all
No.
got the wrong idea about what
No.
your dick can do to a woman's vagina.
Yeah, I
No.
gotta
This
back
is
you up.
this
Hey,
is
that-
the part where I'm gonna have
Yep.
to bring the girls in
No.
who are
Yep.
trained in this stuff because
Let
I
me-
hate to
let
break
me
it to
tell
y'all.
you.
Oh, here we
Let
go.
me- let me
Here we
tell
go,
you.
Christina. Here
Let
we
me
go.
tell you.
My
This is
vagina
where the
snaps
men.
back,
This is
so-
where the men start behaving like boys. Listen,
Yep,
listen.
yep.
Tell us about how it gets blown out.
Let me tell you. Some women, it just ain't all about the dick.
What?
It just ain't. Hey,
You think you know what you're talking about. But in left field, there's a whole other category of blowing out things.
Oh, how many women have you been with who've been blowing it out with things? Good Lord.
Well,
let's see.
are we talking about masturbation or women? Who
No,
just
we're-
Y'all
blow
are
out?
just
talking-
going so far out on
no,
left
no,
field.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no,
my
no, no.
heavens.
Let me handle this.
Sure.
All right. Okay. So, women, there's a section. Well, I'll call it a category of women that are not just about, you know, fucking guys. They're also about fucking whatever. And so then
Dogs?
no.
I'm just trying to figure out
No,
what we're
I'm talking about,
Doggy
you know, women who, you know, love extreme. And so there is a large category of women that are like that. Women like, so there are some women that are like fist. Exactly.
Feet.
Bottles.
Two-fist. Bottles.
Yes.
Bats.
Yes.
Okay,
Horse,
do we
horse dildos.
you really
monster
think-
cocks.
donkey shows?
This to me, this is so
alien.
ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous.
No.
It
Y'all
goes right
really
up
think
line.
the
No.
number of women who like bottles and fists in their pussy is that massive?
If a woman's getting fucked by a donkey, like her shit's gonna be blown out.
We're just saying
I'm just saying.
women can get those things blown out, and you're
And-
acting
and-
like you were all Wonder Women. And like, no, our stuff
Lori's
snapped
making
back.
the point.
I'm
Yeah,
just
Lori's
saying,
making the
there's-
point of
Mine's
like,
just rubber.
no.
It goes.
There's a category of women whose
Hey.
stuff ain't gonna snap
And-
There's
back.
a category of men who let other men suck their dick and say they're not gay, but that is a small number.
How do you know?
Because
From our two previous podcasts, it was like
it's more
It-
men
it
than
was
most
more
people
than you
think,
thought,
but I
right?
also don't think it is the large percentage.
I guess my point is, it's not just, you will, as a guy, you are going to run across that chick that it is blown out.
And as a
going
woman,
to.
you're going to run across more men than not who have had way more partners than you. And if they
Absolutely.
found out that you had the same amount of partners as them, they're going to say your pussy's blown out.
And I'm
No.
gonna let you know right up front before everything gets wherever it's going. I don't care how many partners you've had.
So if you've met a woman who said, "Yo, I've had 97
I don't
partners,"
care if you
don't
have
give a fuck.
400. I don't care if you're an ex-porn star.
You don't care.
If I meet you and we kick it off and we are people and we're vibing, then that's what I'm vibing on. What is it?
Interesting.
I don't
Isn't
care
that
about your.
interesting
I
how
don't
that
care
just
about your.
split
I
between
think that's
anything.
kind of a maturity thing, in my opinion.
I think you
I
just got
do.
called immature.
No offense, but I feel like
No,
I'm
No,
joking.
but I understand what
my point-
Knock is saying. I understand what he's saying.
Knock is the
Knock is
nickname
his
that Quantrell
nickname.
has for AK, just like AK is my nickname for him.
my point was when I mentioned age, where you're at.
Right.
I think when you're younger, that number really means something. It's
Absolutely.
Okay.
like
Absolutely.
if you're in your 20s or something and you find out this chick's then she's fucked about 200
in high
dudes.
school and the football team
It's a
ran a train on you.
reputation.
That's
Yeah,
at that
different.
you're
point,
like,
yeah.
I ain't fucking with her,
Yep,
right?
that's true.
But now if we go to like you're older in life, and now in your mind you're like,
We all grown now. We've been
exactly what Quantrell just said. Now it's kind of like I don't really care who you fucked with. I'm like,
You're not doing it while you're with me.
exactly.
and
We're
we
cool.
and
We're not.
we gonna check the blood test.
No,
And-
you should.
and-
We gotta make sure we
You
cool.
should no.
We
Listen
make
to
sure
me.
we cool. I'm
You
not
know,
gonna wind up in
Y'all
the
are,
chicken
hang
coop.
on. Y'all
Yeah.
are joking, but
Yeah.
we need to dial this back for a second because it's important to say this. You should always check the blood test. I don't care if you think you're someone's first person or if you think they're their 400th. In order for us to control STDs, we all need to be getting the test before we get a new partner. And that's to keep it real. People don't like this conversation, just like they don't
Right.
talk about masturbating. But that's a real life conversation that should be had. So that to me, that one's not funny because I personally know of two women who the very first person they were with got hit with a couple or three STDs from that first fucking partner they got with. So for the rest of those girls' days, they got to tell every partner they come across what this person did to them. So
well, and I wasn't trying to make it light or
I didn't think you
anything
were.
like
I didn't
that.
think you were.
I was making the point of it that that's something that you have to do because as you get older, your body count grows.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just
Well, yeah,
does.
it has to.
It has to, right? And so that is a conversation that's had between two individuals who are about to have sex.
Right.
You're going to be like, hey, how many
Is that a
people?
conversation that has to
I
happen?
was going to say, so
I'm not
so,
saying has to, but I think it's a conversation that naturally happens.
Does it?
I think so.
I think some people
in a relationship.
I
not,
think some
not,
people
not a-
really feel
Does it?
compelled to
in
have
a
that
relationship.
Really?
Yep. In a relationship.
But you're
Really?
different. I think that you on this one. I think that you might be
no,
much more.
in a relationship. If
He's
you're
telling you that he doesn't need it though.
I
no,
don't think so.
I don't feel
I-
like
I
I've
hear
ever
what you're
discussed
saying.
that
I'm
with.
just saying.
Finish what
out
you're
of
saying.
out of all the people you've been with,
Yeah.
and
Dang, he made that sound like you a hoe.
no,
Since we
I'm-
calling people
I'm
hoes if
okay.
they got
with-
high
I'm
body
okay with
counts.
being. I wish I was one, but I'm okay with being one.
out
if
of
I
all
was.
the people you've been with, and
I'd like to
people
vanquish
that
that word, by
people
the way.
people that you have had a relationship with, and I'm not talking about 30 days. I'm talking about
A relationship.
those who you've had a real
Yeah.
relationship with.
Yeah.
You know the body count. You have been told the body count.
I feel like I'm 36 years old, and I feel if I was fresh out on the dating game, I don't feel like that's something that would need to be discussed.
I would-
though. As long
It's
as
because
we're
you're saying that as you get older,
It's-
you don't care.
No,
That's what I was
not
saying,
Exactly.
really.
It's not. But
No.
but the point
But
is
Q is telling y'all he don't care.
When you get with someone and y'all are gonna have that relationship, it's
I've had-
always a discussion that is had.
Of how many people you've had?
Yeah, it's going to be.
I don't
Is
know.
anybody
I
feeling
don't
comfortable
think
to
so.
put their body count out there?
I don't think so. I know mine was well over 40, 50. I would hope I'm over 60.
Oh,
I would hope so.
I haven't had that many.
I would be proud of that. I don't think I am. Because the longevity in which I go between partners is freaking like a freaking dinosaur.
So when you get it, there's a gang of them.
When I get it, there's a gang of them. And
Interesting.
right now, I've been in a desert, Mojave Desert, like ooh wee, like. If you see water, please let me know.
He's like, I'll take that motherfucking
Please let me
mirage.
know.
I'll take it.
Mirage look like water. If you see a plant, let me know. I'll suck the hell out that plant right now, like a clit, like ooh wee.
Big Hero 6.
But the next
I'll take
woman-
some Big Hero. I'll take
I'm
two
gonna
of
tell you
them.
something. I'm gonna tell you something. I am surprised that you're a single dude. Because
I'm surprised as well, and I'm being very, very truthful about that. I've been single for a very long time. So, ladies, if you're listening,
we just turned this shit into the dating stories. We'll put a poster. We'll put a picture of him in the post.
We're on Tinder.
We're gonna get him with his like
Let me
jet
get
pose.
let me get my grown, sexy voice on for you. I just want to let you know that I'm
Massage therapist.
And I know how to do massage.
I know how to do touching things.
Hey, so that's an interesting point. Do you think that you can use well, you said you've been single for some time, but do you think that you can use massage as a form of foreplay? Do you use massage as a form of foreplay?
No, it crosses a boundary.
You think it crosses a boundary?
I don't think so. It does.
Okay.
No,
Just wondering.
That's professional standards
Quantrill is a massage therapist.
Correct.
By trade. So
by trade, and so yeah.
And I did not mean
There-
any of your
no,
clients.
no.
I
There-
meant specifically
there-
someone
there-
you're
yeah.
in a
In a
sexual
relationship
with who both of you are consenting.
Hell yeah.
That's what
I
I
was
meant.
gonna say.
That's
In a
what
relationship,
I meant. Let me
that's different.
let me rewind. I should have said in a sexual relationship with a partner who both
Yes.
of you are consenting.
100%.
By no means did I mean to allude with customers.
No.
I meant specifically in so
Yeah,
you use
100%.
massage as a form of foreplay?
I can.
You can. You
I
haven't.
can. I have not because
You haven't because you've been single since the 1800s.
since Moses was here.
Hey, you remember the parting of the sea?
He ain't parted nothing since Moses parted
Ain't
the
no
sea.
sea's been parting.
Q needs to part some seas.
When the sands went dry, so did I.
Are you surprised that Q is single?
I'm very surprised
Yeah.
that Q is single.
I don't
think
have to
that-
be for too much longer.
She is a married woman, so you better find you someone who's single too. that below the waist piercing was like pew 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 pew. I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Yo.
Okay, so we went off on a tangent, so I'm just gonna ask you the question: why do you
Go.
think you're single?
Why do I think I'm single?
Okay, so I asked you earlier. Have you had your breath checked recently?
Other than I don't put myself out there. I don't go out on dates. I don't do anything. I like doing stuff by myself. I'm very happy. One of my sayings is, if nobody loves you, love yourself. I love.
Speaking of masturbation,
I love the hell out of myself, and I'm one person who I'm always trying to spin a positive vibe on anything negative.
we were
that
talking
hits
about
me.
this before.
That's
we started
amazing.
the
I
podcast.
love
Yeah.
that.
I'm
I
always
love
trying
that.
to spin a negative vibe on anything. I'm always trying to be positive. A lot of negative things hit me, whether it's contrived by myself or it comes of just about by however it comes about.
Or cars.
Or cars, whatever. Or cars, whatever it is.
He got hit by a car.
I
He got hit by
try
a car.
and be positive.
No, like real talk. Got hit
Real
by
talk.
a
Yeah,
car
I got
Yeah.
hit by a car, but that's a different
while
story.
he was on a bike.
But I love myself.
my
I
database.
love the fact that I'm able to give myself pleasure. I'm loving the fact that when I
Do you
bring
think
a
that
person,
perhaps your closedness is contributing to why you've been single for some time? Because it
Closeness
sounds to
in
me
what?
like you might be a little closed off.
I think I'm very open. I just don't do things with other people. I don't invite other people to do things. I'm very
But you don't
open
sound like
when
you
I get
want
out
to
there.
stay alone for much longer.
No.
Sounds like you're open to a
I'm
relationship.
open to everything. It just hasn't happened.
We don't
and
got
if
to
it
talk
does,
about how you bend over with your booty cheeks. Stay
Oh.
focused for a minute.
did I allude to my booty cheek? Because
did.
we are talking about masturbation, and I thought we were going to be talking about some masturbation, and we haven't really talked about.
We're not talking about masturbation.
Masturbate.
We really haven't talked about
Is that a thing?
masturbation.
Masturbation?
Absolutely.
Ass play is masturbation?
For dudes?
You play with your own ass?
I don't play with my own
But
ass.
dudes play with their own ass.
Absolutely.
Do you two play with your own asses?
play with their own ass.
Do we
Dudes
call
play
it
with their own
masturbation?
ass.
Do you play with your
No,
own
that's
ass?
called masturbation.
Masturbation.
You
I
don't know what Assturbation.
I don't masturbate.
Okay.
What's
But so I work
You're
at.
saying it like it's a thing. I've never heard of this.
So my job is
that like
I read medical records.
Yeah, I forgot to say that's her job. She reads like people's medical
So,
files for a living, for coding purposes,
On more
right?
than it's kind of coding. I have to abstract records, but on more than one occasion, I have come across men that have asturbated,
Which is what?
masturbated in their ass.
So just
Like
dildos,
fingers
Like
or
a
dildos
like a man
whatever.
took
Or
a
they lost
plunger,
something. Oh,
took
they
a
lost something
plunger.
up there and had to have a medical removed.
Well, that too.
Plunger.
A plunger.
Okay, so it's important for me to interject here
plunger
because
handle.
in addition to you doing what you do for a living, a really dear friend of mine is a surgeon. And during his times of getting his schooling completed, he had to have his ER rotation. And they very openly talk about how like Friday and Saturday nights are the nights for the ass injuries because men fall on
Shampoo
objects
bottles.
that you're laughing, but
Big black dildos.
I know.
Batteries.
I know I'm laughing, but a
Statistically-
shampoo bottle is funny.
a lot of men end up in the ER
Hairspray bottles.
because I don't know if everyone at the table knows this, but the asshole is actually like a suction.
Yeah.
So what goes in typically
a
if there's
black
not
hole.
if there's not good control on the other end gets sucked in. So there is a very high influx of men in the emergency room with things that have been sucked up into their rectum and into their now lower part of their stomach because I'm using air quotes here, they fell on it.
Yeah. I
And
got
so
you.
I think that there is an excessive amount of masturbation.
When
if you will.
I
I think we
first-
just coined something we should totally
Wow.
trademark.
When I
guess
first started, there was a man that had taken a plunger.
Did he fall
and-
on it or he was
He fell on it.
okay? Yep,
And it
that's usually what they
skydiving.
say.
obstructed his.
His parachute didn't open. It happens.
it's
Something opened.
It's
It
very
happened. He was
common.
hang gliding.
There's a whole other gland in there that
We talked about this
Erupt something.
prostate
Yep.
Yeah.
orgasm.
Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of a newer space for me, but
I'm not gonna stick my fingers up a man's ass. I mean, call me a prude, but
bitch, you are a lot of things, but a prude ain't it.
Would you let a man stick their fingers up your duty?
Yeah,
You
I
like
would.
it, huh? You answered that really quick and with such enthusiasm. I'm liking you more
Easy,
and more.
easy, at ease. Down boy.
I'm sorry.
Down boy.
They let
Okay,
me
so,
out.
So some people enjoy the ass play. No, we don't kink shame around these parts.
No, it's all good.
that's
We-
taboo
we
as well,
encourage
though.
it.
That's
Yeah.
taboo
That is
as
taboo.
well. It
That
is
is very taboo.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, it took me a long time to come around to even liking a woman's anal.
So do you let women touch your ass?
Oh, I'll let them touch it, lick it, do whatever they want to it.
Okay, he's into
You
ass.
put all
Okay.
you do it, girl. What you got?
Interesting.
I can't do that. I mean, and I feel bad because I know men like that, but I just
No. You just shouldn't feel bad. Not men like that. Certain men like that.
Yeah,
And if the
some.
man likes that, they will let you know if they like that.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
feel
true.
bad about something you have no control
No,
over.
and the men
That's
who
true.
like it will
Good
tell
point.
you.
Good point. Yeah.
Hey, they
the
put
man
it
who
out
like
there
it will
quick.
tell you.
Wait
Yeah.
a second. Now,
Word.
I have,
you've
yeah.
experienced that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was with somebody who was all about it, and very early on put it out there. In fairness, we were also friends before we were in an intimate relationship, and so it's weird. You kind of get to know somebody on a different level when you're friends before you become intimate. And so we were friends for several years, and so some of that information I gleaned from his conversations about his ex-girlfriend. Then later on, when we were dating, it was like, hey, remember when I had told you what I'm into? And I was like, that's different for me. But that's how I learned about prostate orgasms. I did not know. I'm kind of the when it comes to sex, and I mean actual sex. I'm not talking about masturbating in here because I've already told you that for me that's kind of a private thing. When it comes to sex, I'm kind of like, let's try it, see if we both like it. The thing is if only one person likes it, it's not going to be a regular
It's
thing on the
boring.
menu.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
boring.
It has to
It
be
has
on
to
both
be
sides.
where you're both
mutual.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fitty-bitty.
And yo, what you don't like with this partner, you may like with that partner.
true.
Yes.
And that's
Very true.
something like you really kind of can't have a hard line of no all the time because you really don't know. That person may make you feel more comfortable. That person may make you feel more hypersexual. That person may make you feel more wanted, more sexy. So what didn't work with this person could work with that one. And so I
Right.
always try to remind myself going into every relationship that I have to be open. So here's an example. I think 69 is fucking dumpster fire trash. I think it's a terrible fucking position. But so many men are about it. But like for a woman, 69 is like you're like like no matter which place you're at, it's just such a fucking obnoxious.
Let's hear everyone's version of 69. Let's go around the table.
Because I was surprised at how many people agreed with me, women-wise, that said 69 was trash.
Quantrell, let's go around the table. Go.
There's just so many other things you can do.
Yes.
I mean, 69 is something I feel like if you're a couple or anything, you have to do just to do it.
Right.
Both directions.
With it.
You on top, her on top.
With it. Yep.
Both of them.
Agree.
Just to do it. But it's not a staple, and it's not anything that has to happen. It's like you don't have to have gravy on your mashed potatoes.
Damn.
But it goes good.
Okay. Gravy on your mashed potatoes.
I'm just saying. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a I'm sorry. It's a condiment.
He damn near put gravy in my mashed potato.
Oh, girl, you know if my gravy was flowing.
Whoa.
Almost got a busted lip just now.
Gravy boat.
He likes gravy on his mashed potatoes.
Gravy on his
Gravy
mashed
boat.
potatoes.
Hortina, your thoughts on 69?
I love that nickname.
I mean, Hortina. If my head's off the
That's
edge of
not her name. It's just what I call her.
No, I know what her name is.
Yo,
It's Christina.
Stop.
Hortina.
Stop.
You know me. He knows me.
Yeah, I know this
And cease and desist.
dude. Yeah.
Everybody,
Let her
back
talk.
into your cages. Hortina.
Put your handcuffs back on. And put the
ball
There's
gag in.
gonna
You
be-
ever think that
back in his
maybe
cage.
hold on.
Zip
Christina,
the mask
Christina,
back up.
hold that thought. You ever think that maybe some of the reason that you might be single is because perhaps you put a little too much out there on the
Yes.
Okay. You know, maybe if you slowly work up to the ball gags and the mask and the cuffs.
But in his defense, there's some women that'll be like,
I'm saying that there's women who might be open to it if they move into a space of trust. But if that's the first thing that gets put on the menu, it might be a little off.
But that
Can I
might be
make
the
this
perfect
clear?
woman
Can I
for
make this
him.
clear? When I first meet a person, I'm not Quantrell.
I don't know that I believe you right now.
I think you're lying. And I'm your best friend.
I think Q needs a kinky woman from the gate.
Yes.
Like he
Yes,
needs that.
but not.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't care how kinky you are. In order for kink to work, there has to be trust established.
Yes.
That's why the whole use of a
And it has to be
safe
mutual.
word. Yes. So I fear, sir, friend, who I actually do love. Okay, he might be AK's best friend, but Q and I actually worked pretty closely together for about a year. Q is somebody I consider a friend who I care about. I fear that perhaps you might come out the gate at 100, and perhaps
1,000. Super!
Wow.
Give it to me, baby. Like Rick James is my theme song.
so my fears were just validated.
Yes. There you go.
I'm sorry. I'm very.
You get him under control while I get the information.
I'm trying.
I'm
I'm
very,
trying.
very hot.
Mommy,
I'm very, very
Are
sensual.
you all
It's
about
very much so.
69?
I'm not all about it, but
Why?
like,
Tell me honestly, why not?
I'll hang my head off the bed, like because
This
Oh,
is exactly
like-
why I don't like
like-
69.
like-
It is such a awkward, like for the woman.
because
it's like,
if you're on a mattress, like your head can't move, and it's
Hold
just
up.
like
Hold on,
like,
wait.
Hold up.
Hold on, wait. Can we call timeout? Can we call
I'm
timeout?
so glad someone said it.
We get 3 timeouts, right?
No, I told you to put him back in the cage.
Nope. He loose. Click, click. He loose.
Silverbacks
So
are in
like,
the house.
like as women, we need to be able to move our head.
Yes, and
Like-
69 makes that damn near impossible.
You can't.
So,
you're on the
so,
bottom.
There's no
so
movement.
you're saying off the edge of the bed?
yeah,
yeah.
that's where I'm stuck.
It's significantly more difficult if the woman is on the bottom. On the top, there's a little more control, but still, it's almost like I sometimes feel like 69 gives like a hyper stimulation because like if he's really doing what I want him to do with his mouth, I don't want to be sucking your dick right then. I
Yeah,
want to
you wanna
enjoy
be like,
all of the
yeah.
pleasure, and then
Yeah.
I can give you the same thing in return.
but you know that's okay.
Right? But that's the thing, though. That's not 69.
That is 69.
Yeah. It's
You don't have to be
69
engaged in it. You're in the
Right.
69.
69
You don't
is-
have to be
is-
doing something.
It's not about one person. That's what 69 is. 69 is about both individuals.
But then why be in that position?
Exactly.
But my point is, it's not about trying to reach orgasm. No, seriously,
it
it's
isn't. I
not
can understand
about
that.
trying to reach orgasm.
I can understand that.
It's changing
about
the
pleasure.
position and just to get some pleasure.
69 is being stimulated at the same time.
I have never,
Right, but-
ever,
No, it
ever had
isn't.
an orgasm
No.
doing 69.
That's your
Right.
Not
definition.
once.
Right.
That's your definition of 69. Your definition of 69 is being stimulated at the same time.
But then
This
why
shit
not
went
suck
so
your
far
dick
left
in a
from
normal
masturbating.
position? Why does it have to
Why?
be in that
Why?
like why do you have to be on top of you?
Why be normal?
Oh, Jesus.
No,
What does
the
Jesus
thing
have to
is,
do with it?
Hey, here it is. The thing is,
Why?
69
No?
is
I don't
not
agree.
to me. All right, because I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm
Right.
speaking for myself. 69 is not about each of us trying to reach orgasm in that position.
Simultaneously.
Exactly. It's not.
I agree.
69 is a position to where both of you can actually experience some pleasure at
one
the
another.
same time.
But
That's-
personally, I don't feel, and again, just
Okay.
like you said, I'm speaking for me.
Yeah.
If I am receiving pleasure, I feel like that pleasure is decreased and distracted by me attempting to give somebody else pleasure in that
100.
moment.
100.
So for me, like I'm a tit for tat girl. Like I'm all
Okay,
about it, right?
yeah.
So if we could both enjoy that pleasure of receiving oral, because that's ultimately what you're getting from
Yeah.
69 is oral.
It's oral.
Then I'm 100% happy for you to go and then me to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And I enjoy that so much more immensely than I do in that particular position.
But let me ask this.
Sure.
When he goes, right, and he's performing on you, right? And let's just say he putting that shit down.
Okay.
He got your toes curling and shit. He this motherfucker is.
We're going to
Target.
Target.
Alton alone.
We're going to
I
Target
feel
after
like we
this.
should all
Hey.
leave Alton alone for
Hey,
about 3
this-
minutes because he is really
this
enjoying this.
motherfucker is putting it down.
You getting
right?
it, okay?
Right? He is getting it,
Got
right?
it.
Like
Call him
like you ain't never
Tyrone.
Wait, we sending Tyrone home. We don't like Tyrone.
like right? Like you
Okay, we
ain't-
got it.
You
Okay,
ain't, you ain't
it's
never
great
smoked,
oral.
but you looking for a cigarette,
Okay.
right? Right?
We've lost them both. They're gone. We should have made this a dry
They
episode.
fucking flew off.
Yeah, they're gone.
Never mind.
Never mind. For a cigarette.
You didn't even remember what you was gonna say.
I don't even remember what he was saying.
He don't work himself up into such a lather. He don't.
Shit.
He has no idea what his point was.
Motherfucker's gonna make my mascara run. And I didn't even have an orgasm.
So anyways, that movie Star Wars was like
Jesus.
Wow.
All right. Let's bring it back home. Everybody take a deep breath.
All right, let's bring it back.
Focus. Get centered.
Yeah. I
Does
forgot.
anybody
wow.
Does anybody have any final thoughts on masturbation? Honestly, anything you felt like you didn't participate in, contribute
Just
to?
fucking enjoy it. Like,
I know.
Get to know you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think everybody has one life, and you choose to do with your one life you have. Whether it be freaking spend more time with whoever it is, spend less time whoever it is, touch yourself more, touch yourself less. It doesn't matter. You have one life, and you choose to do with that one life, and don't waste time.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that's a good
You was trying to get all
philosophical and shit.
Without getting too philosophical. Don't waste time.
No, I
I hear
agree.
you.
I agree
Yeah.
to an extent. I think that the greatest way to learn what pleasures you enjoy are from figuring out your own body. But in that same breath, I say, let's not forget that a partner can bring on incredible other pleasures you didn't even know about.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know?
I'm ready for that experience.
You,
That
You
you
might-
know what?
you
No,
might-
that's true.
you
That's-
might know your body in just the most incredibly inherent, fine-tuned way, and then you might get somebody who comes and fucking blows your spine out because they know your body in a different way.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well,
I married that guy. So.
Hey, shout out to Dick. That's all we're gonna say.
we call him Dick for a reason.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? Of all of my friends, I think that you two not only have an incredibly healthy sex life, but you also have an incredibly healthy approach to your sex life. Like, you guys
Absolutely,
understand, you got young babies and you got to kind of fine tune when you can make it happen. But you two always seem to come back to making sure that you're both taken care of.
Like, I literally text him today, want to come home on lunch and fuck? And,
Y'all had a nooner.
and he's like, I'm there.
Afternoon delight.
Absolutely. No
Damn,
kids
that's-
are home.
That's like
and
perfect wife
I
right
mean,
there.
that's, we've been together almost 14 years. And so we got to find ways to
You do.
keep it
You have to
alive.
find ways to keep it fresh and sexy. I hate to say this, but that was something that Diddy said once upon a time, and it has stayed with me forever and ever. He was like, everyone gets older, everyone gets fatter,
Yep.
everyone gets comfortable. You have to figure out how to keep your relationship fresh and sexy. And I was like, you know what? This motherfucker ain't married. One of the women he's dropped this seed in, but he makes a fine fucking point here.
It's true. It's very true.
You do. You have to figure out ways to keep it sexy and keep it fresh, and you have to continue to check in. And the same way you check in with your own self, right?
Communicate.
Yes. That's really the core of anything when it comes to sex is communication. An hour ago, y'all had no idea people could come to orgasm by just crossing their legs.
No.
Look at that
No.
communication.
I didn't know that.
Every once in a while, I have phone sex.
Do you know I've
what?
never had phone sex?
You've never.
I
what
have-
about-
I've had phone
I
What
sex.
about
have
sexting?
I have
Okay,
sexted,
okay.
No,
but
I've
I've
had
never had
phone
phone
sex.
sex.
But you've never sent naughty pictures.
I'm not into the naughty picture thing.
I'm not
What,
into the
what do
naughty
you
picture
what do you
thing.
consider a naughty picture?
Nudies.
Oh,
I'm not gonna put
Me
a phone
on a
between my
toilet.
legs. Wait.
That's so
Hey,
dirty.
hold up, brother. Hold up.
That's so dirty.
No, stop that. Stop that. Yo,
Cut
y'all.
off.
It's like Pulp Fiction up in here sometimes. We just
We're
gotta,
gonna bring some blow
We're gonna get
torches.
medieval on this motherfucker.
yeah, we gotta stop this.
Yeah, I'm not into naked pictures.
No.
The internet is a scary place.
it is. It is. But I mean, I'll send naughty pictures to my husband. I wouldn't do it to anybody, any like
But I
random
think
guy.
that's a little different. You guys have 14 years in?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think that's awesome.
I don't feel like
Yeah.
he's
I-
going
I'm
anywhere.
serious.
I don't
No,
feel like he's
no,
going anywhere.
no.
So, I think that you can trust that you put those photos in his hands.
That's what you think.
No,
That-
I'm
that's-
saying that as an
that's-
assumption of
right.
two people that I know to be very finely tunedly connected.
Yeah.
Right.
And really still, even after all this time, crazy about each other. So
Yeah.
I am absolutely making an assumption, right? I don't know what could happen in 5 years, 5 months.
I know if I was in a relationship with you and you were sending me news and I was at work and you're
That's
talking
bomb
about
shit
I'm about
right
to
there.
be home.
Can you bring him back?
I'm about to be like freaking a
No,
woman.
he's making a
I'm all
point.
up in you.
Men
Yes,
don't send
yes.
nearly as many naked pictures as they expect.
Because they're not requested, and then
Yeah,
when a
you have to
woman
request-
Why should I have to
hold on,
request it?
excuse me, stop.
Bing,
And then when a woman
motherfucking
requests
bing.
it, the women who don't want it will let you know. Oh, penises are so ugly. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
No,
I'm
you
not
got to be
thinking-
like, send me a picture
I
of that
only
dick.
think that dick pics are ugly when they're unsolicited. That's
But-
when they're ugly.
Okay,
That's exactly-
but
yeah.
then
But
if
if
a
it's the
woman
dick
is,
I'm with,
if a
I'm
woman
with
is
it.
requesting and the man knows that the woman every once in a while, or not even every once in a while, daily or whatever it may freaking be, if that man knows that woman's into that, then that woman's gonna start receiving
Yeah, I'm totally
penis
with it.
pics,
I'm totally
ball
with
it.
pics, anus pics, whatever the freaking
Whoa.
you're into, whatever
That
it
shit
is.
always
I'm
goes
just
left.
saying.
Yeah.
You would bend
But,
over and bust it
however,
open if your woman wanted it?
If that's what your woman wanted,
Look at-
why
look.
wouldn't you?
You would.
Why wouldn't
You forgot who
that's
you
I'm
were invited
asking
to
you
this show.
specifically. You would bend over and bust it open?
If that's what your woman wants, why wouldn't you?
You want my butthole? I'll send you a pic of my butthole.
Why wouldn't you?
So, Lori,
All my
would
butthole.
you want a picture of the guy you're dating, his butthole?
no,
Yeah.
me no. I don't
No,
find
she's
that-
just asking.
but I'm saying, but
Exclamation point.
but I'm saying if you're with someone and that's what
That-
they want,
and that's into
you're
it.
gonna give them what they
And
want.
that's
I
keeping
agree
it
with that,
fresh, and
right?
that's
I
keeping
do
it-
agree
and
with that.
every
Give
once
them
in a
what they
while,
want.
that
Sure.
person wants to come home because I was once married. I love my marriage. I was married for 15 years. It was the world to me. I would love to be married again. I'm very single right now. I wanted to introduce cosplay or just that whole little thing of role play. Not even it's called cosplay now.
Right.
Back then it was called role play.
Right.
Anything just to or meet out in public. Let's meet at
Oh,
a
I'm down
bar.
with some public.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's meet at
Yes.
a bar
Yep.
and pretend we're
Yes.
strangers and get to
Yep.
know each other and like play hard to get. But I mean, in the end, it's going to wind up in this. We know this, but let's play the stranger role.
Right, I got you.
Right.
Let's keep it new and interesting. I'm freaking 100%.
I just burped in the mic, sorry.
I'm 100% about all of that. I'm not the normal. I'm speaking for myself only. I'm not that normal person, and I know this. I'm into a whole lot of things that a normal guy would not be into. We're talking about masturbation. We haven't gone deep into masturbation. We just touched the surface, in my opinion.
We did.
I'm like,
Yes,
damn.
we very much.
You got
skimmed
it. Well,
the-
I asked for
Are you
final thoughts.
you-
Come on,
you
put
talking
some
about-
out
Well,
there.
you said final thoughts, and so final thoughts
No,
means
no, no,
like
no,
the
no.
last
Hold
5
on.
minutes.
Pause.
But
Pump the brakes.
We can go as long as we need to
skim
go.
milk is
Tell
what we've
me,
done.
tell me something that you feel like you could have contributed that was far more deep into the conversation of masturbation. I'm actually quite interested. I feel like everybody here is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go.
Pick up your drink and have a swig. Oh,
we
he
have
needs-
not even breached
Damn.
or broached.
He's straight
Breached.
empty.
And I'm gonna tell you, he picked up his drink as soon as he went to say what he was gonna say. So I feel like let's give you a little more. Go ahead.
So I feel that when a man is just touching himself, penis in hand, that's jacking off.
Okay.
He's touching himself. He's jacking off. He's experiencing whatever pleasure he's experiencing. Penis, whatever you call it, ejaculation. Sorry. Then we broach the subject of
Stay in the mic.
we
you go.
broach this subject of anal stimulation. That's a whole different area for men. And it's not a different area for men who are...
Literally.
It's a whole different area for men who are gay. I'm not gay.
No. Yeah, we're
100% not
we are
gay.
all heterosexual in this conversation, so we are
Yeah.
discussing
Love women.
heterosexual.
However, when I'm loving myself, nothing's off limits.
Really?
It's
Because-
an enhanced orgasm when
No,
it
no,
comes
no. Wait a
from
minute.
the anal.
Hang on.
Because when
So
I'm
you're
loving...
telling me, I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. When you
Yes.
are masturbating, there is ass play.
Yes.
Interesting.
And it's lovely.
By no means was I suggesting it wasn't.
I didn't care if you
fucking
were.
appreciate this honesty in a way that you don't even understand because I never even considered that for no other reason than because, again, typically masturbation is such a solo, private. Like, how many men have told you honestly that they have ass play when they have masturbation?
Not one.
Exactly.
And I know for a
real
fact that it's an
I'm going to say
enhanced-
cheers to you for that because I have absolute respect for that honesty.
Cheers.
All you had to
I
do
didn't
was
know.
ask.
Well, but I didn't know to ask. I had no
It's
idea.
not heard of. It's not heard of at all.
Apparently, we uncovered a gang of things that are
Yeah.
unheard of in masturbation.
Yep.
What I miss?
There's ass play in Quantrell's masturbation.
Oh, in masturbation?
His in solo
Okay.
time, yeah,
I've never experienced that.
yeah. I'm not mad at. I
You
appreciate.
will never experience that. That is me thing in a woman.
What?
Me thing and a woman.
He said he had never experienced that. Never mind. It was in
Yeah,
my
I missed
head.
it entirely.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So okay. May I ask questions? And are you willing to expound?
You can ask whatever you want.
Okay. So for you, so we had just had a conversation about what happens more often than not on the old weekends. Would your ass play involve objects?
Sure.
Okay. Do you have
Yep.
do you have toys
Yep.
specifically for ass play?
Yeah.
And do you use digital penetration?
Digital. What is that?
That's your fingers,
Oh,
your
my
phalanges.
fingers. Oh, I was like, what? What is digital? I was like, I was thinking numeral. I was like,
No,
what?
no, digital phalanges.
Like what? No. Yes. No. I don't.
No,
No.
you don't put your own
phalanges.
fingers in. Okay.
No. I don't
So,
like-
but so
I don't
you
like my
have
fingers.
toys. You have things that
Yeah,
you
I
use.
got
That
fingers.
is,
Yeah.
I'm like surprised. I didn't even think to ask.
So when I was
neither.
13,
Oh shit!
and I
we went-
discovered
Hold on. Let me go back. Let me get comfortable. Okay.
when I was 13 and I discovered touching myself,
Okay.
I was into it, and I was like, dang. My first experience was to a porno that I'd found in my dad's closet. Boom. And I was like,
Na 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 na.
nah.
No, no,
I'm
no,
gonna do this
no.
every day. It's summertime. Ain't nobody
Tell me about the
home.
porno that you found in your father's closet. Let me tell you, I found pornography in my dad's
Oh, it
closet,
was
and it
cool.
fucked me up. Did
It
you ever?
was-
Has anyone found porno in their parents?
My pops had the motherfucking vault. I mean, like.
Yo, this is.
yo,
Wait, hold on. How long have we been going for?
I don't know.
Shit.
For a
5
minute.
hours.
All right, we try not to make these too crazy. Hang on.
2
Tell me
hours.
about the pornography that you found in your
It
dad's
was
closet.
called The Photographer.
And what
And
what
it was
specifically?
damn.
It was a guy.
He knew the
And he
name.
was in a loft, and a lady came, and she wanted to have pictures taken of her for her husband, dirty pictures taken of her husband.
Stop it,
and she
Alton.
was like,
Stop
"Can you
it,
do this
Christina.
and be okay?" And he was like, "Yes, it will be okay." And he laid down, and it was the most epic love and making that I'd ever seen. And I was like, I want to make love like that. And then when I looked at the
Alton,
woman,
zip it.
when I looked at the woman, it was the woman who I picture. I was like, it was a woman with small breast, ginormous nipples, evulging like a bat cave freaking clitoris just hanging out from her legs. And a nice little dumpy booty. And I was like, she was a white girl. And I was like, I love her with all my heart.
Bat cave of a clitoris.
This is his dream moment. We just got his dream moment.
Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know.
Wait, what do you know about this?
And a dumpy booty.
Big bat
This
cave
is-
hanging
that's
from the
his
belfry
thing.
pussy. If you
Yo,
got a pussy
that
and your
is
clitoris
his
is hanging down,
thing.
and you open your legs and you don't see lips, you see clitoris hanging down.
He's into meat curtains.
The fact that Alton
Oh,
knows
my God,
his
Toast.
clitoris.
That's
I've
my
told him a
boy.
lot. I've
That's
told
my
him a lot.
boy.
My ex-wife, I won't say her name, but she had freaking bat from the belfry pussy. Like, ooh wee. You hang on that motherfreaker like monkey bars.
Did she have a dumpy booty?
dumpy booty?
Dumpy booty.
White girl with dumpy booty.
And as he's describing this, I'm going, damn, that is his style. That's a style. That's
the first porno I
Crazy
saw.
how pornography, especially I think if you're exposed to it too young, and I say too young because it's such an impression.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't the porno who got me that. I
It
saw
was
that.
her.
No. That was reinforcement because the very first white woman I've ever fell in love with was my dad's best friend at the time's wife, who was a white girl named Ann, which is my favorite name.
We don't give names. We don't
They
give
don't
names.
know. They don't know. They don't know. They're not listening.
Stop it.
They're
Oh,
dead.
shit.
They're not. They're dead.
He said they're dead.
They're old. They're dead.
9 feet under.
They're not listening. Believe me.
Oh my god.
Bleep.
Okay, hang on.
Anyhow, redhead, which is why I love redheads. Small
I
breasts.
have had a thing for
Big
redheads
nipples.
for years.
I love redheads,
Yeah.
hands down. You can be
Big
you can
nipples,
Be, you can wear-
interesting.
you can wear
Typically,
an
that's
eye
not what
patch,
men are into.
Wear eye patch, missing teeth,
Eye
and you're a
patch.
redhead. Peg leg, I don't care. You got red hair?
Meth mouth, but as long as she's a ginger.
I'm really curious what a bat cave clitoris is.
I would say street vernacular would say "Stop it, Alton." Street vernacular would say
when
meat
your
curtains.
lips
legs
for
is hanging
days.
down
Meat
like
curtains.
this.
Meat curtains.
pussy lips
so
for
when
days.
Okay.
the labia
Roast
majora
beef.
is closed, the menorah is hanging out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my
Understand
God,
that thing.
Toast.
pussy lips
That
for days.
right
You
there.
know what's crazy about this is that tons of women have had reconstructive vaginal
Yeah.
surgery
And they shouldn't.
to get rid of
And they
labia
shouldn't.
Because
menorah
there's
that
this
comes out of majora.
misconception that it means that you're loose if your shit's hanging out.
No, it's,
No, I don't
it is-
get that
it
at
is
all. I've never heard
Genuinely,
that.
every woman's vagina. I'll be honest with you. That's something I had to learn in my later years in life. I genuinely, honestly, truly believed that what was street named meat curtains, labia majora, menorah hanging out of majora, whatever, however you want to use the terms. I honestly thought that was like push the baby out, excessive sex,
Yeah.
partners.
just more to put in
I
your
didn't
mouth.
know. I had to.
Yeah.
Can you come back for a second?
Actually, we had that conversation,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
Because
then
AK was like, it's what men,
I'm-
it's what
I'm
men
like-
like.
I'm
Pussy's
like-
I
pussy.
love it. No,
Yeah.
not all men. Not all
Not
men.
No,
all
not
men.
all men do.
Not all men.
I
Not all
love
men
it.
do.
But
I
the
don't have
other
a
spectrum.
problem with it.
Yeah, there's
You-
another.
you know what I
But that's
mean?
not what you're looking for.
I don't care.
I love
I
that.
think there are
Either-
some
either
men who
way,
are like,
I'm good.
There's a woman I'm interested in. She's interested in me, and there's a pussy. I'm not going to say no to it.
Well, that's different.
Well, I just know
That's
that
different.
that you are. Well,
It's not like oh, that girl right there has bat from the belfries. Oh, I can
Can
tell
you
the way she
please stop
walks.
saying bat from the belfry.
That's
Jesus.
what I call it.
well, what I was gonna say was that I can't say that every man goes, I'm gonna find the absolutely perfect person.
you can't.
That's
No,
not gonna
you
happen.
can't.
You may find that the person that
Close.
has the awesome personality
Yeah,
and everything,
close.
and all of a sudden she has lips, that are flying in the
but
wind.
what is the perfect pussy? I mean,
Well,
like,
To me,
The
it
one
do-
that
it
gives
do-
you permission to be in it.
Word.
bingo.
That's a nice pussy, isn't it?
Yeah, bingo.
Word.
That's a good pussy right
Hey,
there.
Every time I'm
And-
in one, I'm like, thank
and-
you.
This pussy is
and
amazing.
it don't
Thank you.
hurt
It's the
that-
best ever.
And
I
it
feel
don't
like
hurt
I
that
might
it's
have been
nice
a
and tight,
dude.
too.
don't hurt
Oh my god,
at
with
all.
the tight. I feel
Right?
like I might have been a dude in a previous life.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I think if you subscribe to previous lives, I think I might have been a guy.
Why so?
I
Why are you
have
saying that?
I have an unusual approach to sex that a lot of women don't.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of different things.
it's refreshing though. I think
What-
I think more women need to have your outlook.
Hold on, wait. Because you already know what she's talking about, and
Yeah.
I'm lost. So stop.
Alton and I talk about this all the time. He
Yeah,
calls me
everybody
the
knows what you're talking
unicorn.
about, freaking except for me.
I don't necessarily look at sex as solely as an exchange of love. Like for me, here's an example. I know so many women who, when they're mad at their partner, they can't have sex. Hell, I know men who can't have sex with their partner. I'm not like that. I'm like, why should my vagina be cut off because you're acting like a dick that night? Like, let's fucking, we'll go back to
Afterwards,
being
you're
mad
still gonna
afterwards.
be a dick.
Yeah, you're still a fucking dick, but like, why should I be fucking closed off to sex?
Okay.
I'm not like, oh, you didn't fucking unload the dishwasher, so I'm holding out on that pussy. You're still an asshole because you're lazy for not unloading the dishwasher, which, frankly speaking, that's not my personal
But
experience.
yo,
but
come
I'm
over
using
here
it.
and hit this.
Hey, let's hate fuck.
I'm not mad at
Let's
that.
hate fuck, you
That's
fucking
sometimes
asshole.
That's the best time sometimes.
So and then
Makeup,
also there's a lot of weird stuff about
You different.
Yeah, you are, because I'll be like, you can go fuck yourself. I'll fuck myself. Goodbye.
no.
Like if
I could always fuck myself. I have a fucking partner. You're there.
But if we're not vibing that night, fuck you. I'll fuck me. Goodbye.
Yeah, get in the mic.
Yeah.
Pretend you like it.
Ooh, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't feel that way. And the truth is that most of the time my partners are the ones who don't want to have sex because we're in discord. I'm not that way. I'm like,
I can't say I've ever been in that situation.
I'm like, grab
where
me by the
I've been so
motherfucking hair
mad
and tell me
I
how much
didn't
you
wanna
hate me
have
right
sex.
now.
I have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have not.
I've been in that situation where I'm like, fuck you.
Even going through my divorce,
I mean, like,
I wasn't
for,
in that situation.
for real. I've been like, fuck you.
But you've still had sex.
No.
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 Well, I'm not the type that'll withhold
I would
sex if
have.
I'm angry, but like
Same.
if we're
I
not
would have had
vibing,
sex.
And I think that's a more
I would-
masculine trait.
I think I would have too. You know, if it was thrown at me. But in my sense,
I don't think you would have.
with what was
I
going
don't think
down,
he would have either.
When you're mad,
Alton
you ain't
Alton
having- you
is
ain't having-
cerebral angry.
there's a reason why we call you
What do you call
What
me?
do you call him?
Alton. Well, not call you. Not call you.
That's
sorry.
my name,
Not
motherfucker.
call you. Not call you.
you got
And does not
call you.
equate with cerebral.
when you say Alton,
Let's
Alton.
Google what Alton means.
No, Alton. You when you're mad, you're mad. You ain't getting
Yeah.
past that.
Yeah.
You ain't breaking down walls like, no, mother freaker. I'm-
It's something I can't control.
He ain't in
I
the
know,
sugar
I
walls
know.
when he's
Yeah.
angry.
and it's like,
it's-
and it's not something like, it doesn't matter what the person's doing to freaking console you. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm like, you don't understand how sorry. It's like, freak all that. Ain't time for that. I need to get over this on my own.
That's not the mindset. But that's
what it
you
is.
just
there's a
described. That's what it is.
preoccupation.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a
That's what it is.
preoccupation with what is
Yeah.
bothering you, and
Yeah.
that affects the ability.
And if
for
you're able to
there
overcome
be,
that, then yeah,
Yes.
I'm all about it.
What I learned was when I was a kid, or when I was younger, that when something would just really piss me the fuck off, right? My mind has to process it through a certain amount of things, and
Mine
it has
does too, but my vagina has nothing to do with that processing.
right. But that mind for me, it affects everything. It's gonna affect my facial expression. It's gonna affect.
It
We
affects,
know.
It affects your sleep.
Yeah.
know.
my
Yes.
sexual
Yeah.
It's gonna-
receptors
it
will
affects
shut
your
down.
It's gonna affect
Yeah,
my
your mind-
sleep.
I'm also
Your mind-
a high-level sexual harasser.
Lori, Lori,
I am.
Have you found?
Me?
Yes.
Who are we talking about?
Isn't that you?
Sorry, go ahead.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay.
I've often been. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I've had a. Okay,
lit.
listen, mother freakers.
We all lit.
I've been.
I'm not
I
mother
smoked a lot
freakers.
of weed before I got over here, and now I'm here,
Wait,
and I've had a
what?
few drinks. So I'm way past everybody else. And
Okay.
the fact that I haven't gone off the rail as far as yet, you're welcome. Okay,
You done been off one rail at least.
I'm gonna let you know that I've kept very well in control.
That cart come off one rail
I'm
at
gonna let
least.
you know. We haven't even. Okay.
Okay, stay
so
focused.
where we at?
What were
Anyhow.
you gonna say, Lori? Have you noticed?
Alton's mind doesn't shut off. To me, as a woman's mind, doesn't shut off.
Did you just compare him to a woman?
No, I didn't compare him to a woman. I compared his mind to a woman.
I feel like you sort of just like
potato.
feminized him a touch.
I'm looking at him like, hey, bro.
whatever, mother freakers. Answer the
fuck,
goddamn
bro?
question.
What you
I
saying?
feel his mind doesn't shut off. He's always
it
freaking
doesn't.
thinking. He's
Yeah.
100% man.
Yeah.
That's my dog.
That
That's
is
my
that
nut.
is why I
That
But
is
I
said
think his
accurate.
mind does not shut off ever.
that is
Yeah.
why I said for him anger is a cerebral thing because it does affect all parts.
Yeah.
Everything.
So when I was saying I'm not that way, those two things can operate independently, which I think is inherently a masculine trait. I feel like most women cannot. and so when I think he's making that comparison, it's because in general it's more along the lines of something that women feel like
Yes.
they're upset. There's something that's eating at them,
Yes.
and so the
Very
physical
much so.
aspect of things are
Yes.
shut down.
Very much so.
And so it's actually wrong of us to say male and female, because that's not really fair, because it's some people internalize anger and that affects
Yes.
them physically.
Correct.
And some people, even if they're angry, physically speaking, things are not affected. Me personally, if I am within the confines of a healthy relationship and we are having, and I'm not talking about like two people who've been in a relationship a long time and things are so bad that there is a discussion of a breakup. That's not what I'm talking about, because I think that's a very different thing. I think
a
if we're
different
having
conversation.
like a regular argument that couples have a tendency to do, like a bickering thing, I'm not one to be like, well, nah, you can't get at this.
Yeah,
because
no,
you
not.
angered me.
I just found out you cheated on me.
Correct.
And yeah,
Right.
and you. Well, we can still do it, right?
Right. We're
No,
talking
not
about your
that.
more
Yeah.
average couples arguments that so many couples do have,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You argue about stupid shit like finances and I'm not talking about these major problems, because those absolutely make sense that
You're in
you're
30
not,
years of marriage. It's not going to be perfect.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
can we still do it?
Right.
Yeah, we can do
I'm
it.
talking
but
about like he was supposed to do something at 5:00 and
Yeah, and
he
he
ran
didn't
late
do it.
because he's always
Yeah,
running late.
and he's
No,
still not
I'm
home.
not going to shut down the pussy for that. Like, I'm not, because why should I be punished because he's annoying and forgets shit?
Yeah.
The
I'ma
vagina
get
still
mine.
needs it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
right?
get mine.
Right.
And then when I'm done.
Same thing with shit talking. I'm gonna talk shit. I'm gonna say dirty shit to you. I'm gonna grab your junk when there's people around, and you're like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" Like that's
Please
me.
do.
And that is not typical of most women's behavior. Most women, there's this a sort of propriety about when and where, and I'm not that way. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, that's my junk.
Is that a
It's
woman thing?
I feel like a lot of women do. See, this is the problem.
I think women are scared of it.
I was gonna say the problem
know?
is that I think that so many women are raised with this idea that their sexuality is something to be quashed.
Is that changing?
You have to be
I
submissive,
am so
kind of a
happy
thing.
that it is changing. I
So
feel like
it-
so when we were talking about body count earlier, what I was gonna say is like these young girls. It's hot girl summer right now. These girls don't give a fuck. They out there getting they fuck on. They don't give a fuck.
Let's calm down.
I'm happy though. I'm happy that girls are empowering themselves to be more sexual and not give a fuck if a dude. Here's the keep it real. If you have an issue with my body count, cool. I'll find somebody else who wants to fuck me.
Yep.
That's the thing.
That's what happens.
That's
or
the
was
thing.
someone else.
But well, it's not a thing that's a negative thing. That's why I said earlier, I don't care if I meet you down the road. Your past is your past. My past is my past. It doesn't make a difference who I am or who you are now. Your past is your past. It stays there. If you want to bring it up, Alton said earlier, you've shared in your relationships the body count. I've never shared, even with my ex-wife, we've never actually shared a body count.
No.
However, I did know that she was with quite a few people. But it wasn't a specific number, and it wasn't a number to where I was thinking it was over 30 or I was thinking it was over 20.
You just didn't have a number.
I didn't have a number.
You just knew there was people.
But we talked, and she was like, I was in college, and I went through my little thing. And I had a
whole
breakup.
phase.
I went through a phase.
Whole
I had a relationship. I was in love. He cheated on me. We broke up, and boom, I went through my phase.
I
And-
fucked the football team.
Yep.
You know,
Yes.
it's funny because I honestly feel like a hoe phase is good for people. And I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I have very few regrets in my life. And I do regret that I did not go through a hoe phase. I feel like it would have been better for me for my ability to let go of relationships that ended. One of the things about me that I have a very difficult time with is that I have a struggle with letting go of relationships that have ended. Some people will mourn the end of a relationship for a few months, a few weeks. Some will mourn it for a year or two. I will legitimately go 5-6 years really eating at myself about what things I did to contribute to the ending, particularly if it's a relationship I didn't want to end. I should be clear on that, because if you want the relationship to end, it don't fucking matter, right?
You gone.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking to the relationship you didn't want to end. I feel like if I had personally gone through a physical hoe phase where I was out there like getting it, I honestly feel like I would have been better about letting go of relationships far more quickly than I have been.
Well, and I don't even think it should be called a hoe phase, because
I think you're right.
I think
Healing phase.
I think it's good to
Healing phase.
test the waters.
Not
And-
exactly.
Wait, what?
Exactly what?
That could be an addiction.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Clear that up for us.
As in, if you go
Un
through
clavo
this,
saca al otro?
you go through this
Done.
phase where a relationship ends. You could all of a sudden start this addiction phase, and that addiction
Of
phase
dick?
is to
Dick.
get all of the attention that you can get
to validate
and
something that
and you fuck a
breaks.
slew of
Self-worth.
dudes, right? As self love in a sense.
Self-love, self-worth.
I have a
Right.
question, Alton.
Yeah.
I noticed that when you are referring to, and please no, because I think you know me better
No,
than anyone at this
I'm-
table.
I'm-
This is not a dig. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering. I noticed that when you refer to any sort of a hoe phase, you always refer to it in the effeminate. So she fucked the football team. You are going through attention to get validation from him. And so I'm asking you genuinely,
Yeah.
as people who are all here having real conversation, candid conversation, do you think it's different for men versus women?
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
The whole
Absolutely.
face.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I noticed that
I'm
for
not,
him.
I'm not trying to.
I don't.
I'm not calling you any kind of
Yeah.
a name.
No
I feel like
offense
it's
at all.
important.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
none.
I'm not taking
None.
it as offense. I'm saying that there is. It's a difference. It's always been a difference.
There's a stigma.
In my mind, is it right? Probably not. You know what I mean?
I'm going to
It's-
jump in here and tell you
Yeah.
that there is some part of me that agrees with some portion of what you say from a biological standpoint.
Right.
Women take men inside of their body. Men, it's just going in.
We're the
right?
ones that bear the children.
Right.
And,
And,
the-
and
yeah.
so,
Right.
so from a physical standpoint, I think that when you bring somebody into your body, sex is a different thing
Absolutely.
than when you're just sticking your dick in something. And that is not to take away from the experiences of men having very serious, soulful sexual relationships with people. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that there's
That's
a
a different experience.
there's a
Yeah.
biology difference,
that's a
right?
different experience.
I've said this before. I had a boss who told me like women overcomplicate it. Like he's like, my dick, I just want to put it in something. Like that really is what the goal is for me for sex. Is it better, more enhanced when I have sex with a woman that I love? Yes. But the physical aspect of sex for
It's the
men
same.
is more base, if
Yeah.
you will. And so when I'm asking you to elaborate on that, it's important for me to own my own biases in this. I think that part of the reason I did not personally go through a hoe phase is because I did subscribe to some of this idea that women should have less of a body count than men, if I'm being totally honest. In retrospect, I disagree with that. But in the days where I probably would have had a hoe phase, yeah, I felt like women's body count should be less than men's. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't.
No.
Even though I understand the biology of women taking a man in their body is different. It's a different experience. It's a different thing. I do feel like if a woman has healthy sex that both people are consenting to and everyone is being safe, I think
good.
the fuck am I
The
to
whole
say?
phase comes about, I think, when you're not being safe. And you're just
Yeah, if
you're,
you
you're
just-
taking
if you
dick
just
from anyone,
hand
you know,
that
raw
shit out to
dog.
everybody.
You have no
I think
disregard
that's
for
a hoe
yourself or
phase.
anybody
No
else.
regard for
Absolutely.
yes. When there's no
You're just
going.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
just going.
Like you don't
dropping
care
them
if
draws
you
for
get
whomever.
pregnant
Yeah, I
or
can see
whatever.
that.
I think that's when
me.
the whole phase comes into effect. But if you're being
When
protected,
you're on Broadway.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
exactly.
we are going to wind this down, but I'm going to ask the last question. Random, totally has nothing to do with masturbation,
Okay.
but kind of does. Because most of the time people masturbate to pornography or to an image.
Right.
Dirty talk. Need it, love it, like it, don't really care either way.
I like it.
You like it. You like dirty talk.
Say some shit to me.
Talk shit to you. Okay.
Yeah, for real. I mean, as
Do you talk shit?
I can.
Oh, so you don't really?
I
Interesting.
can. I mean, I think it depends on if you're with someone who's open, and you're with someone who will kind of jab some shit at you, right? Then it kind of, you know, props you up to jab some shit back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And in a relationship, some people have to be the jabber, and
Right.
and some people
people
are
wanna
the
hear
ones
it.
who will respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Right. So you can't just sit there and say, oh, you know, you don't ever say anything to me. Well, it might be a reason.
Right.
You know,
They might feel nervous about it 'cause they don't know what you're open to.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you get them started,
Q's over here giggling.
you don't know.
Look,
You-
look, look.
If you get him started, he may get on a roll, and you be like, "Hey,
Oh, damn, you
hey,
went there."
You need to shut that shit down." You know, you
So-
done took that shit
So
way
Q,
over the top.
now that we're
right?
talking
Right.
about you,
Yeah.
Oh, is that who we're talking about? Man, I'm just sitting here thinking I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
so you down with the shit talking? You like dirty talk?
I love dirty talk.
You
I'm
don't
just
really
saying,
do.
I love it. I love it.
You know what? I'm gonna if it's too much, I'll shut it down. I don't. There's an overabundance of talking. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, hey,
they're like, okay, look, you're
just
doing
choke on
too
this
much.
dick, bitch.
Yeah, you're doing
Oh,
too
wait,
much.
Sorry.
But-
that was where
But
the
if
masculine
you're
stuff.
Guala.
I'm okay with that. If you're talking to me,
him
if you're talking
so
to me in that
much right
language,
now.
if you're talking to me in dick language,
tongues.
if you're talking to me in tongues, that's different. Guala guala.
Remember that show, Gullah Gullah Island? A little different when you grown up. It's Guala Guala.
Guala guala. That's different. So dirty talk. Yeah, I like it. Because I'm into.
Do you prefer to be the perpetuator, or do you prefer her to say it to you?
I prefer it to be mutual.
Because I feel like Alton prefers her to do it. To being the perpetuator.
I find. That,
I feel like you reciprocate it.
I find that. I think it's mutual. I think it's in that case. I'm not a tit for tat person. Like.
Oh, I'm so tit for tat. Yeah, you
because
gotta
going
give
back
it to
to that,
me and I'll
because
give it
I didn't talk on that piece. And I'm not a tit for tat person. I'm totally down with the woman just coming her brains out, and I don't have to come because I'm about the pleasure. But that's my difference.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
You
we didn't
mean
go
to-
there, but that's my difference. I'm
You
about
mean
the
to
pleasure.
Tell me that you would not orgasm.
Yes, I've done it plenty of times.
That's how my husband is too.
Hang on. There's a difference.
That's a
between,
whole nother subject.
There's
up in
a
here.
difference between being a giver and sacrificing orgasm on a regular basis because you
It's
so.
not a sacrifice. It's a pleasure to me to give the woman pleasure. I love to give women pleasure. That
I
is
feel
my
like
thing.
Pleasure is a mutual thing.
My
I'm trying
husband's
to
the
bust a
same
nut.
exact way.
I'm just saying.
With your selfish ass.
I'm
Good
trying
Lord.
to bust a nut up in this motherfucker.
Selfish shit right there.
Yeah.
That's real.
No, real
Lemon
talk.
Hill, fool.
Real talk.
told me this about
I
dick-
love
about
it
dick
that,
before.
that y'all, can get pleasure. I get pleasure also out of giving pleasure.
Same.
Right?
But I do want to have
I
orgasm.
get total pleasure out
I'm
of that.
100% of the understanding that sometimes you might not be the one to get off. Sometimes there's different circumstances, either quickie, somebody's injured, that moment built up so well, one person got off more quickly than the other. I'm totally good with that. But statistically, I'm really trying to be a little tit for tat though.
Yeah, it's not that I don't want to experience it because we already talked about this is
No, we
masturbation.
know.
I love having
we
it.
know. We've put the pillows away.
But I like pleasure. A woman. I was trying to say orgasm.
when
and
you
woman
find
at the
them
same time.
out in the wild, women.
I don't know if you know of seen these in
now
Midtown.
you
The
see
womenings
the
that are roaming
women.
around. When they orgasm, to me,
It's awesome.
it's freaking the most
Yeah.
amazing. Every single subtle way that a woman, all of you, orgasm, to me, is the most. That's like the orchestra playing. That's
Damn,
like
the heavens
freaking-
opened up.
That you think I'm playing?
Yeah.
No,
And
I'm not
I'm not
joking.
playing
That's-
because because at the same time, while we talked about porn and all this stuff, while some people conceptualize porn as like, oh, it's real, that shit's fake. And I
As
don't
fuck.
curse, but that shit's fake. Come on
Did
now.
just curse.
He did.
I don't
Nice.
like cursing.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of him.
Yeah.
I don't like cursing.
It is fake.
But it's fake.
Oh, my.
However, you can search down whatever you want to fit what you're looking for.
When I say that I'm tit for tat, I don't necessarily I am all about. There's times when somebody has an urgency because something may have happened in their day, something may have happened in their week, something may have happened in the last 5 minutes that just makes there be an urgency to just fucking pump and dump. I'm okay with that sometimes. I firmly believe everyone has those days where it's like, I gotta get there because there's something I need to unload. As long as everybody is understanding that it's not an all the time thing.
Right.
That's fine.
That sometimes your pleasure really does matter more than mine as a person that I am in a committed, healthy sexual relationship with. That don't got to be in relationship.
Right.
That could just be sexual relationship.
Right.
Some days you just got to get there. And I'm fucking good with that.
Yeah.
But by and large, I think that it should be about mutual pleasure.
Yes.
By and large, just the same way that men are like, fuck yeah, when a woman, because frankly speaking, women are harder to bring to orgasm.
Yes,
than
they
men,
are.
statistically,
Which makes it-
physiologically.
Sometimes.
Why it's great.
Sometimes, right.
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Which is why it's great.
So I totally understand why when a man sees a woman in the throes of an orgasm, that shit is so awesome. But it is absolutely equal for women. Like, we fucking love that shit. That is the That's the check mark. That's the check mark saying, yo, we did that.
Really?
Hey, the fact he said really, it was like
It makes me a little sad to hear that.
He said it right before my mind
processed it.
Yeah.
See, this is we've gone a little to the end of the X-rated here, so I'm going to say something.
Because men love vaginas. Men love receiving
That's
pictures
why
of vaginas.
I am a fan of swallowing at the end. Like, to me, that's like that, yo, fuck yeah. Like, you gave me that. This motherfucker went full on mariachi band. Sacó un grito y todo. You good?
Now I am.
Okay. That is why. So we've talked about this, and I am of a minority with our friends.
You are.
I am of the minority. Like, my friends are like not really about that swallowing life.
I like to see it. Just don't.
I want to see it too, but I want to swallow it.
See.
I'm like, give
when
it
you
to
said
me.
I like to see it. I went a total different direction. Please guard what you're saying. Remember your company.
Stay focused. Stay focused. The same way that I think that men are turned on by a woman having an orgasm, I really do believe that women are as well. And I feel sad that both of you kind of had like a pause, like you were surprised by that.
I am.
Oh no,
I'm
like, give me that.
It was a little surprising. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Very surprised about that. And I think more women are liking that than I think because.
Oh no, I'm
me
about
being
it. I want to see it. I want to know what's happening.
I want to.
And I already said I think I've been with more than 60 women, and I think that's like freaking.
I think
phenomenal.
a lot of men hold back on their feelings in the middle of an orgasm. Like, it happens and there's like a restraint. Like, when a man is talking shit in an orgasm, when he's like that shit to me is so fucking. I'm like, yo, give it to me. Give me the whole show. I want to know about. I want to know how every part of you is reacting to that orgasm.
Bukkake me.
When
I gotta turn the gain down on this motherfucking volume here. Whoa! Okay, I'm back. Shit. What? What'd you say? Bukkake? God damn. Woo! Shit. Ooh, shit. Okay. I gotta calm down. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Well, now. Yo, Dick. Congratulations.
Dick.
He taught me it.
Winner,
Yeah,
winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, I don't like it in my eye. I don't.
No,
but
it
like,
burns.
but
Yeah.
it fucking burns.
Keep it out of the
Nobody
eyes,
wants to
man.
have one fucking
No.
hinky eye because
No.
you couldn't find a place to put it.
I don't want a cataract in my shit. Like, keep it out of my eyes. Wherever everything else is cool, but keep it out of my eyes.
She like, I don't want to have to get a weed card.
Important to note, Quantrell has left the building.
Quantrell went to go pee.
Down the hall.
He'll be back in like
left.
15 seconds.
He left. She said bukkake me, and he left.
Yeah, that brother took off. He might be gone for a minute.
This conversation went so far away from masturbation.
He might be in the bathroom for a minute, handling that masturbation.
All right,
you know?
so while he's there, I'm gonna wrap this up because we have gone way over.
No, I think we have to. You know, when Q comes back,
he's not gonna come back.
He
You're
will.
gonna have to pause the shit to give
he
him
will.
the time to
One of your couch pillows are missing.
Oh shit! Hold up, he's coming back. Give him like 1 minute. 1 minute, and there he is, right there. There he
He
is.
won't make eye contact. He won't make eye contact.
Okay,
Okay, what? Bukkake. What?
Is that a burrito?
Negro.
Is that on the
You know what
menu?
bukkake means.
You know what bukkake means.
So where are we going with this?
I was trying to shut it down, but apparently Alton wanted
it's
to
not,
wait for
It's not
Q.
getting shut down. Yeah, let's go.
Go ahead. Say what you got. Stop slamming the drinks. Say what you need. Take a moment. There you go. Woo-saw through that motherfucker. Did you not know that they're honestly, like, real talk, you did not know there were women who like to be come on?
Oh, I love it.
No. It's not a naiveness of not knowing what women like.
It's the honesty in it.
It's the honesty in the fact that I've never met.
That's
like
why I
I
asked you
know,
to be on this.
I know that women like things, And earlier in the conversation, there was said that women have a problem with being honest with their men because they don't know how it's going to be receptive to them.
Because we are taught that our sexuality is bad.
Right. And so when a woman is honest, like, oh, that feels good.
Right. Fuck me, come on me, come in me. Yes. Yes.
So am I a vocal?
Do you need to go leave for a minute? Like your boy
Hey,
just-
dog. Hey, there's a Vaseline in there. And, there's no more Vaseline. There's toothpaste.
Why can't these fellas,
There's
why can't these
toothpaste.
boys behave themselves? You notice we're having full-on conversation and we're good. And yet these two gotta leave. That mint is not good.
Sensodyne.
I'll stick to water.
Minty fresh.
Mint is not good for your
I'll
dick,
stick to
and y'all
water.
know that. Okay, do not put mint on your dick. You're gonna hate your life.
Okay. All right, go.
So what you're saying is you have an appreciation for the honesty.
I have an appreciation. So when we're talking about talking and verbalizing feelings during a sexual experience, I'm totally into that. I'm totally into the woman saying,
I like this.
excuse me,
Do that.
I'm going to go outside.
You have to.
It's sex. I'm totally into the woman saying, fuck me, fucking fuck my cock. Fuck my pussy. Get it.
Yeah.
Put your tongue in my ass. I'm totally all about all this kind of stuff. Fuck my cock. Fuck my cock. Fuck my cock, you little fucking black boy.
All right.
Anyhow,
Go back. Go
anyhow,
back.
I'm just saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of the fact that a woman can verbalize anything that she's feeling during that time, because I understand on my own part how hard it is to
Get a woman off.
open up and verbalize the same thing back to a woman, like, oh, no,
Careful.
without saying corny, without being corny or feeling like I'm corny within that experience. Oh yeah, your pussy feels good, without saying it, without making it feel like I'm being corny, like I'm just saying it because
And I
I'm
think-
I'm just trying to get by. Like,
I think that's the struggle with dirty talk, is that sometimes it almost feels fake.
Fake.
It
Like
feels a little
fake or
silly.
rehearsed.
And sometimes you
It's like,
rehearse
no.
100%. You feel
Yeah.
like sometimes I'm into dirty talk. I have no problem with it. I'm all about it. Sometimes when you say it, you worry that it's read as like, is this feeling rehearsed? Is this feeling put on? You don't want that, because I'm not going to use it if I'm not feeling it.
Exactly.
It's not my thing.
right.
But again, I also understand that I'm not going to speak for all women. I'm going to speak to my experiences with women that I've had conversations with about these things. In my experience, a lot of women who use dirty talk, it's put on from what they've seen in pornography, or they've seen in movies, or what they've heard people say they like,
Not real.
as opposed to what they themselves honestly
Right.
like. And that is the difference between being a woman who owns her sexuality versus one who lives out a sexuality of an expectation. But I
also think
also believe that the struggle with women
I just had an epiphany.
is the judgment about our own sexuality, body count. If you admit to somebody that you have a bigger body count and there's a judgment there, it's very difficult for you to be as free in your sexuality, because you think somewhere along the way he's like, oh, did you learn that with all the motherfuckers you banged?
I don't think that.
But you know what?
But
I
you're the
understand
exception.
most people do.
I know
I don't
people
think
that have a huge body count, women
Large.
wise, right?
As do I.
And then the next dude is like, bring that shit on,
Right.
right? So body count, I honestly don't think it matters in a sense.
But it does matter to you.
In early age,
Right.
yes,
And you are
yes.
very representative of men, right? You're a man, right?
Early age though, and that's what I said. It was like 20s, you know,
I-
like the body.
In his demographic of men.
Yeah.
Correct. He's talking about a very specific
Yeah.
demographic, and I think
Right.
that when you're younger, those things matter. But
It-
I also
it
think this
does.
next generation, it doesn't matter as
No,
much.
no,
I think
no.
that this younger
And-
generation
and
doesn't give a
and-
fuck.
And
You're right.
well, I can't say our generation.
Well, we're all kind of in the same. You're the youngest. We're all kind of in the same age group.
I'm saying, I'm going to speak. Well, I can. Everything that I say, audience, is about me.
Same.
Okay, so everything that I say is what I feel about myself.
Right.
Openly and honestly about myself. When I look at my next relationship, I'm single. My epiphany when you heard me say it like 40 seconds ago, I'm looking for the person who is going to share the same experience sexually that I want to enjoy with myself. So when I'm like in myself and I'm in my own realm and I'm enjoying myself and I'm having that experience and whatever it is, whatever I'm bringing to the table with myself, I want to be able to feel secure that that person is going to enjoy the same experience and openness.
I get that.
That I'm sharing with them, that they're going to share back with me.
Yes.
So if I'm willing to divulge into you 100% honesty about everything that I am, I'm telling you right now, women are my world. I love them. They're the best creation ever on earth. Love them. Can't say I love them all.
Real talk.
Because I am finicky.
Real talk.
Oh.
Quantrell.
Oh.
We're gonna mute.
Okay, never mind. You're married. But your clitoris is pierced. You're still married. I got a good mouth.
Abort mission Q.
I have so much editing to do.
Anyhow,
Man.
I'm just saying, for me, I
didn't cut this shit off. I didn't throw the headphones down. I'm done.
If I wasn't married, I'd have to give a run at Q. That's for sure.
Well, I held on for that long. You guys are lucky.
Here, Q. Cheers.
All right, wrap it up. Wrap it up, brother.
Thank you for
You have a
having me.
lot of editing.
I love every single one of you. You're awesome people. Cheers.
Wow.
Christina, any final thoughts? Please don't let them be as salacious as his.
I don't even know what to say. Fuck yourself. Fuck everyone else.
Yee.
Skeet, skeet.
Ah, skeet, skeet, motherfucker.
To the window.
To the wall. To the sweat run down my balls.
All these bitches crawl. Ah, skeet, skeet, motherfucker. All right. So we are clearly, there are some people at this table who have had way too much to drink. There are some people at this table who have gone way too far left. To this I say, to those of you who are listening, please learn about your own body. Please take the time to learn about what you enjoy on a physical level so that you can convey that to the person that you end up in a healthy, consensual sexual relationship with. We always need to reiterate consent. If a girl is too drunk to say no or yes, you should not be having sex with her. That erases a very large chunk of time where that was a gray window. We have now clarified that window, so let's all follow that. Yes is the word that you are looking for, okay? Once we've established consent, which is always the first step, we absolutely want you to go out there and find out what feels good to you both, because you who are having sex with another partner should always remember that your pleasure is also involving someone else's. But when you're at home by yourself, we do not kink shame. So I'm going to remind y'all, no matter what you've heard today, in spite of what may be edited out and what may be kept, if you disagree with something anyone said today, that is absolutely your space, opinion, and ability. Please do it. But don't come for anyone who came onto this podcast and shared intimate details that your average Joe Schmo would not be comfortable sharing. All I can say right now is thank you to both Q and Christina. Even though we went way off the fucking rails of what the topic was.
That's how we do it.
I appreciate the full-blown blunt honesty that happened at this table. So I thank you both. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Q. Love you both.
You're welcome.
Thank you, AK, for sharing, because I asked you some questions that some people would consider to be uncomfortable, and I appreciate your full honesty and all that.
Yeah.
Y'all, join in the conversation. Talk to me. Did you hear any of those crazy ass stories about what masturbating would do to you? Were you going to go blind? Do you have to shave your palms every day like Q? Do you believe in self-loving? Do you masturbate more when you're in a relationship or when you're not? Share if
Doesn't
you're
matter.
comfortable. I agree it doesn't matter, but I think some people do think that. Do you think something that we didn't talk about, there are people who feel like when you masturbate in a relationship, it's bad.
Yeah.
Are you one of them? Please expound on why. We do want to have a real conversation here. It's important that as much as we had fun and we joked and we ended up singing Little John, y'all. That just happened.
To the window.
To the wall.
I love the three humans at this table. Thank you all for being honest.
Girl.
Everybody jump in, chime in on the conversation, share. Don't forget 25th episode. We're going to have a special guest and it could be one of you sitting at home listening right now.
Yee.
Hey.
Final thoughts? Anybody?
Hey, touch yourself.
Hey, touch
Okay.
yourself.
Christina?
Enjoy yourself.
That's right.
Myself?
Cross your legs when you're driving.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm crossing them right now.
Go over speed bumps.
He trying. He trying right now. You're like, this shit ain't working.
I'm sending it back.
Got that shit on Amazon.
AK. Final thought, AK. Final thought.
Yeah, that's my dog. Right there. That's my dog.
I really try to keep the
Right.
moderation. It
I
didn't
love
work.
this dude.
Moderating went to shit in this
I
episode.
fucking love this dude. It's like unconditional. No, the thing I wanted to say before we go is this. Peace, peace, peace. We out this bitch. Later. Turn your motherfucking mics off.